$99 yearly Beehive membership where the buzz is always about great service. Hope everybody's morning is off to a great start. We got Cory back in studio after his cryptid adventure last week.
Cryptid Adventure 2026 was a smashing success. You know, I told my daughter when it was over, I said, the most exciting part of this for me is that I now have no reason to ever return to West Virginia. But we had a good time.
I honestly didn't go. I haven't been to West Virginia that many times. I used to make trips to beautiful Bluefield, West Virginia.
But you went to Virginia Tech, right?
Yes. So
you're like a stone's throw.
Right. It was only like an hour to the West Virginia border. So I made a few trips down to beautiful Bluefield to call some Division III games during my time in college. But that's about it. I'm not a huge West Virginia guy either.
Look, the scenery is beautiful.
Right.
There's no doubt about it. Scenically, it is a beautiful state. It's just, economically, it's a challenged state.
Yep.
It just is. That, like, people here, I think, would have a hard time picturing what it is because it's almost out of a movie. I mean, it is a town, a state out of a time machine. Okay. You drive around and there are factories.
Yeah.
I mean, like giant factories all over the place. There are giant lots of not for mobile homes, but for like giant RV parks, like everywhere, and they're not for vacation. People live in them.
That's it. Yeah, it's their home.
Yeah, and in a lot of the towns, I was also explaining this to my daughter. The older towns. I mean, Franklin's been fixed up, but it's older.
Right.
Like say go to Columbia.
Yeah.
Or down to Pulaski, and these are older cities. The stone buildings, all. They're like that, but their winters are so much harsher. The town, the stuff takes a beating,
right?
And they don't have a lot of money, so it doesn't get fixed up, and it looks like out of The Walking Dead half the time. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah, it's West Virginia, definitely one of those states where the scenery is great, but I don't know if I'd want to have lived there. Although it does produce a ton of great college football coaches, apparently.
And Jennifer Garner.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah. So
Draft Day's finest.
So way to go. Oh, I remember her from Alias, man.
She's got many, but we are big Draft Day fans.
I remember her from the original Daredevil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elektra.
That was after Alias. Or maybe during Alias.
She's she was in the new Deadpool and Wolverine movie too. They had her go back and be Elektra.
And
Elektra
come back.
Rochios. Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, I feel like I've seen her in something recently.
Yeah.
Well, glad that you traveled safe. We saw the Mothman that you got to see,
and the Flatwoods Monster.
There you go. Love it.
Also went to a Bigfoot museum as well.
I need to see pictures of that too.
Yeah, what, Bigfoot.
Yeah,
Bigfoot
You've
museum.
seen pictures of Bigfoot.
Well, I need of the museum.
All right,
why is there a Bigfoot museum in West Virginia? Isn't he like Pacific Northwest?
Oh, dude, no way, man. Bigfoot's coast to coast.
Okay, gotcha. He's
everywhere, man.
Okay, I didn't know that.
West Virginia seems fitting for Bigfoot.
Yeah, because it's Appalachia. I mean, there's tons of Bigfoot sightings along Appalachia, and there's a Bigfoot museum just south of Chattanooga.
Yeah.
So, and that's one I have not seen. By the way, show started. Parker, I was really tired last week, and I called you Connor. And I walked away.
Oh yeah.
And I walked away.
How could I forget?
I walked away in shame of all the mean things I've said to you.
That was number one.
That was the worst.
It was number one.
And I told Jake last week that I wanted to apologize.
Yes.
So in front of the whole audience, I'm apologizing for being old and senile and tired.
I forgive you. Don't let it happen again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next time I give you permission to throat punch me.
Wouldn't that be a scene at Titans practice?
Yeah.
No, I deserved it. I deserved it.
He gave me permission. Yes. Last week, Parker was out at minicamp, so you couldn't apologize to him live. I'm glad we got that out of the way.
No, that's where
to
it
start
happened.
The show. No, on Wednesday as well when you called in. So
that's right. That's why I wasn't able to do it. That's right.
Right. Last night, the NBA draft.
Yep.
Ament goes 13th overall.
Yep.
Drafted by
I love the pick.
Yes.
Love the pick for Milwaukee because, I mean, he's not Giannis, but kind of is.
I mean, he's Tall and lanky, kind of like Giannis was when they drafted him. Now, they're different types of players.
Yeah.
Ament's going to be more of an outside shooter.
Well, he's also a lot more skilled at this point
yes.
in his development.
Yes.
But I don't know that he's the physically imposing monster.
Right. I don't think Nate Ament is going to look like Giannis Antetokounmpo in 5 years.
Yeah. There's not many humans who do.
Right. But I think it's a good fit. It's a rebuilding team, but it's an opportunity for him to step in and play immediately.
I love that they get Tyler Hero and whatever Mirage.
Yeah, there was like 4 or 5 other players.
Yeah, and picks. But so they add that, and then they get a guy to replace that role. And like I'm not saying he's him, but Giannis has missed a lot of time the last few years.
Yep.
And so you've got a young guy. He's not. I mean, your cap situation, your financial situation is going to be way better. And believe me, I'm not sitting here defending Jimmy Haslam at all, who just traded away Giannis and Myles Garrett within a 30-day span, by the way.
Right.
So in quality ownership moves, those don't look great.
Yeah.
But we kind of like both deals for his teams, though, as well. Because the Bucks weren't going anywhere where they were. They had to reset. And, is this going to work? We'll see. But I also heard they were offered Jaylen Brown and 2 1s.
Yeah, I think I saw that too, that the Celtics put up a pretty good offer, pretty compelling offer.
Why wouldn't you take that?
I guess maybe for the Bucks, they feel like Jaylen Brown is going to be, the Maserati sitting in the shack. Like that doesn't really fit their timeline of by the time they are able to build around him, he might be out of his prime.
Tyler Hero's been around probably longer than I think. Right.
Yeah. Hero, but he was young, but he came into the league right around the bubble.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he came out at like 19.
Was he not one and done at Kentucky?
Yeah,
he was.
That's what I said. Yeah. I think he was like 19.
So Tyler Hero's 26.
Okay.
Jaylen Brown
he's probably like 28.
Is 29.
29.
So,
and he's probably cheaper.
Yeah, and for Tyler Hero, I think you bring him in, and Tyler Hero is not going to be a superstar. Now, he can be a number 1 player on a bad team, but he's not somebody that you're building around.
He's Robin.
Yeah.
He's
and
Batman.
I don't know if Nate Ament's going to be Batman. They also, the Bucks 3 picks earlier drafted Braden Burries, the shooter from Arizona. So they got 2 in the top in the lottery last night.
Don't you feel like if Ament could be Jaren Jackson, that would be really good?
Yeah, Jaren Jackson, who can shoot a little bit better.
Yeah.
I like Ament as a player. I mean, I think there's a whole lot of tools there that you can build around.
I just worry about how much dog is in him, to quote Teron Davenport.
Yeah.
I mean, I just I mean, when you're that guy, and he was that guy going to Tennessee, he just wasn't assertive enough.
Yep.
Jacoby Gillespie, assertive. But you when you're like one of the top high school players in the country, and you come in and you're getting big money and blah blah blah, that's you. You're that guy.
Yep.
And I felt like too much of the time he wanted to be
number 2. Yeah.
Well, no, a piece.
Yeah. Right.
He just wanted to be in the offense and not start of the offense. And I'm like, brother, you need to be the start of the offense.
Yeah.
Here. And he did that in some games where they kind of needed him to take over, but and maybe he's just young and obviously a very nice kid with a good family.
Yes.
But you still got to have that dog in you. We know plenty of nice guys who, when they get on that court or on the football field, they're just not great people.
Right. Right. Yes. That's step 1 is you want him to be a good human being.
Yeah.
But I do think on the court, there is an element in the NBA of you have to go out there and impose your will.
I will gut you.
Right. And we've seen, I always think with DeAndre Ayton, being a Suns fan, I watched him play and it's like, that dude has all the talent in the world to be an elite player.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want it. And he goes out there and he plays passive and lets these guys who are maybe even smaller than him dominate him in the paint because he's not aggressive enough.
Yeah.
And so we'll see if Nate Ament can have that dog in him at the next level.
Selfishly and cruelly, I was glad to see Peterson not go number 1.
Yeah. Goes number 2 to Utah.
I did not like how he handled him. I mean, that's not much of a punishment, but I did not like how he handled himself this season or in the draft process.
He only took the 1 visit to Washington.
That was it. I'm not talking to anybody else. And then he doesn't get taken by him. So
it would have been a good fit if DeBonso was able to go to Utah. I mean, having been at BYU, but Peterson goes to Utah. The Grizzlies here in Tennessee get Cam Boozer. I think that's a good fit.
That's a good pick. Good. Yeah. And I think Cam Boozer is going to have a really good NBA career.
Yep.
He's built for it. And I think he'll contribute immediately.
In a lot of drafts, I think he would have been the number 1 pick.
Yeah,
but this was a draft with a lot of really good prospects at the top.
Yeah, I mean, look, if he went number 1, I don't think you could argue with it.
No,
Yeah.
Those top 3, I think, were in a tier of their own. And then Caleb Wilson went 4 to the Bulls.
Yeah,
Chicago's had some success taking players out of North Carolina.
Yeah. The 5th pick, I mean, that is a remarkable story.
Yeah, he was like a
3-star
recruit and 5th
Keaton
overall pick
Wagler?
a year later.
Keaton
Wagler.
Wagler. 2 years ago, he's a 3-star recruit out of where, Colorado?
Something. That sounds right.
Yeah, he's a 3-star recruit. He goes from a 3-star recruit to the 5th pick of the draft in less than 2 years.
Yep.
I now look, physically, he needs some work.
Right.
I mean, he needs to put on some weight. And I mean, I'm from Illinois, not the college, for the state, and so I watched the Illini, and he's a heck of a young player. But I don't know that I could have taken him over Darius Acuff.
I know.
And then on top of that, they just traded for Darius Garland.
Yes, they did.
So does this spell the end for Darius Garland in
Right.
LA?
He was included in the Harden trade.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's the same spot. They're both point guards.
Right. Yeah. And Acuff goes to the Kings 2 picks later. He was, I mean, watching him, especially in the SEC championship against Vanderbilt.
He's going to own Sacramento.
He's going to be a
Brooklyn
very good
passed
player.
up on him too.
I know.
Mikael Brown.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah. I thought
I would have taken him first.
I don't know about first, but I think I would have seriously considered him 4th after DeBonsa, Peterson, Boozer.
Yeah.
He's that good.
Yeah, he is. He's really good. And he's really good. He's really strong. I always say my comp for him is kind of Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
We were kind of comparing him to Jalen Brunson some, but I'm just like, he's bigger.
Yeah.
And I just he's I like Darius.
He's a really good
lot.
player.
Yeah,
really good player. Before we wrap up on the NBA draft, I've just got to put it out there, and I know everyone around the country is saying this right now.
Corey Curtis is amazing. Oh no,
NBA needs to stop putting players out there in the wrong draft caps. Like
that drives me
the stupidest
crazy
thing in the world
because they're being traded.
Yes, and it's like these guys go up there and they're like the Miami Heat select Nate Ament, and he walks out there in a Heat cap, and the interviewer, how does it feel to be going to the Heat? And it's like, it's like we knew about the Giannis trade last night.
Yeah.
Why can we not? I understand for these draft day trades where it's like while they're on the clock they make the move. Fine. But we knew about the Giannis trade almost 24 hours in advance. We knew the 13th pick was the Bucks. Why can't they announce the Milwaukee Bucks are selecting Nate Ament?
Yeah, or in a pick and trade, Nate Ament goes to the Milwaukee Bucks.
In a trade that is projected right now or something like that.
We're waiting for the paperwork to be on it. I know we got to go. I did want to ask you about the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Because they picked again at 16, but they ended up trading down twice to 21 and getting like 5 second-round picks.
Yes.
I don't love that because I feel like, from 16 to 21, you're going down a level of player, but they must not have thought that there was a difference in that level of player.
Well, and I was confused last night of like the Grizzlies trade down, they pick at 21 and they pick Karim Lopez out of New Zealand. LeBaron Philon just dropped like a rock last night out of Alabama. He went 22nd, 1 pick later to the Sixers. Yeah, the NBA draft is one of the probably out of the 4 major sports drafts, the one that I understand the least once you get past the top 10.
Well, yeah, I mean that in the NHL because there's so many international players.
That's true. The NHL draft, and that's coming up Friday. I don't know much about the prospects.
Yeah, that's I mean, really, that's what makes the NFL draft. I mean, because the NBA draft used to be like the NFL draft because you knew who every player in the NBA draft was.
Right.
You watched them for 3 years at least.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
So the NBA draft was must-see TV, and it's not anymore because the top 10 players maybe, but after that, it's a crapshoot as to who's going. Where in the NFL draft, we're all sitting here around 6 saying, hey, that guy from West Virginia is still available.
Right. Hey, Pat Coogan's still there.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we know all of these players.
Right.
And that's truly what makes these drafts different.
I right before we went on, I told you I was scrolling through a Bleacher Report article, the top 99 draft busts of all time. Isaiah Wilson not on there, which disqualifies the list entirely.
The list is dead.
But Vince Young was number 92 on there.
I don't like that. I mean, there's way worse than that.
He was the only Titan on there that they drafted. There are 2 current Titans on the list.
Oh, yeah?
Picked back to back in
Mitch
2017.
Trubisky and Solomon Thomas.
Yes, Mitch Trubisky, Solomon Thomas, both on that list.
Yeah, and I would also include Caleb Farley on that list ahead of Vince Young and both those guys.
Based on what it looked like, they basically stuck with guys picked in the top 10. Like they did not venture beyond that. But like Farley and Wilson probably should be included in that conversation.
Those 2 picks were the equivalent to the Joker in The Dark Knight, sitting on that mountain of $25 million.
I just lighting
it on fire
and lighting it on fire. It was like J-Rob just dousing the team in gasoline. It's like,
I don't know if you were listening coming in, but in the last 30 minutes on this station, John Robinson has now been compared to 2 Batman villains. You just called him the Joker.
Both of which were in The Dark Knight.
Yeah, Robbie and Joe Rexroad called him Two-Face because it's like the good John Robinson that built the team from 2016 to 2019 and the bad John Robinson that tore it down.
You know, that there's some accuracy there.
One of the greatest movies of all time.
So good. I need to rewatch that trilogy.
Yeah,
I'm in the middle of it right now.
So, when you consider, like, I see, I don't like calling Batman a superhero because he's a man, he's a crime fighter, but it still falls into the superhero genre.
Yeah,
it might be the best superhero movie ever made.
Yeah,
still, it is just as far as movie and storytelling, amazing.
The Christian Bale Batman is elite. I don't know if anybody.
What are you talking about, Rachel? What are you talking about?
615.
Where are they?
1025. We are off to a great start on the show this morning.
Yeah, we've talked about Mothman, the NBA draft, Batman.
We've gone all over the place. And we would like your thoughts as well on our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Coming up next, Cory and I have been knee-deep in the Brendan Sorsby saga from the very beginning.
Cory wins!
And now we get to the final chapter as he was denied entry to the NFL Supplemental Draft. There will be no NFL Supplemental Draft.
You guys wanted to know who would pick him. I said no one. I win.
Cory Curtis takes his victory lap. Yes. We'll talk about it next. Jake Lyman.
Oh, glory
Cory
to me.
Curtis, Parker Kelly off and running. Next man up. 1025 The Game. Oh, wow. Well done, Parker. Bane into John Denver.
I'm very proud of myself. This is probably my best moment as a producer.
I mean, covered almost everything we talked about in the first segment. Batman, followed by West Virginia. Although I will say this is a song about the western part of Virginia, not West Virginia. Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River are not in West Virginia.
I'll tell you what, this in Seattle after the U.S. victory
was awesome.
Pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Pretty unbelievable.
And glad that the game tomorrow night does not matter because it starts at 9:00 and I don't have to stay up for it. So we'll talk about the World Cup a little bit later on in the show. But of everybody who co-hosts with me on this program, Cory and I have talked the most about the Brendan Sorsby saga. And I believe it finally came to a close, at least for now. We'll see what happens next April.
Oh, you know they're going back to court, at least with somebody.
I don't know if they can.
Well, they're going to the NFLPA.
So the way I understood it, and somebody did bring this up last week when he announced that he was going to withdraw his lawsuit and enter the supplemental draft, I saw a report that said the NFLPA would be able to dispute a suspension for Brendan Sorsby. So let's say he got drafted into the supplemental draft. Let's say the Jets took him.
And
they could suspend him for a year.
Yeah.
And then the NFLPA could fight that. But because Brendan Sorsby is not part of the NFLPA, he is not an NFL player yet, by denying him entry into the supplemental draft, I don't know if there's any recourse here. As it says in the CBA, again, this is from the letter they sent to Brendan Sorsby, the league retains sole discretion to determine whether it is appropriate to conduct a supplemental draft in any given year. The league has not conducted such a draft for several years, and prior to your submission, the league had no plans to do so this year.
By the way, so at this point where you're going to start reading, is one of the most scathing things I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And I was frankly stunned to hear the NFL just basically hit this kid over the head with a sledgehammer about 8 times.
I'll read you the 2 segments that are, I agree with you. I read this and I was like, man, I cannot believe the NFL is just
that is harsh.
Your petition, filed 3 business days before the deadline without any supporting information or documentation, and only after abandoning your recent litigation efforts to avoid NCAA sanctions, does not provide a basis for the league to alter those plans. The issues presented by your petition are too significant and too closely tied to the league's core integrity interests to permit meaningful review within the timeline presented. So that was one. And then I want to see, here it is. Your petition does not address these matters, and this was talking about possibly violating the law, wagering on his own team, nor does it demonstrate accountability for your conduct or indicate whether or how you would adhere to the league's rules and policies governing the integrity of competition. Instead, even after receiving notice of the NCAA's decision rescinding your college eligibility in May, you sought to avoid the consequences of that determination through litigation rather than accepting responsibility for your actions, and you pursued entry into the NFL only after abandoning those efforts.
Boom.
As Commissioner Goodell has emphasized, participation in the NFL is a privilege that carries with it significant responsibilities, including accountability. By all accounts, you are a talented player with the potential for future success. We encourage you to focus on preparing for possible entry into the NFL in the 2027 NFL draft.
That means get your stuff together.
Yep. I mean, scathing, I think, is the perfect word for the letter that they wrote there.
That might be the worst thing I've ever heard. I mean, that whole thing was a personal attack.
Yes. Basically saying that you have not taken any responsibility for your actions.
And we will not be covered for you.
If we allow you into the supplemental draft, you will not be facing significant enough consequences for your actions.
And we are, as a league, standing up for our integrity. This is what I told you guys about. The league and the teams, they don't want that in their locker room.
Yep.
I mean, because if he goes to camp, what's the one story we're going to hear every day on ESPN?
Brendan Sorsby this, Brendan Sorsby that.
And how do his teammates feel about it? How do his coaches feel about it? Is he getting therapy? Who's he talking to? Who's monitoring his phone? Who's who's monitoring his friends' phones? That's, every time a preseason game, Brendan Sorsby, his over-under.
Right.
I mean, that's all anybody's talking about. Look, from the jump, there was one way to handle this. And not one person, apparently, in his inner or periphery circle told him, this is how you handle it. You come out with a statement within the first 48 hours saying, I have a problem, and I am going to seek help for my problem until I can get it under control and learn how to live with it on a daily basis. Only then will I pursue a football career that I have dreamed of my entire life so that I can be the best Brendan Sorsby and the best teammate possible. I accept whatever punishment comes forward from the NCAA, and I look forward to resuming my career once my health warrants it. And then you become a sympathetic figure. You have taken accountability for your actions, and you have cleaned up your mess for the NFL for when it's finally time for you to join that league.
It is possibly the worst possible way that they could have handled it is the way that they actually did. And
it's very 2026, though.
Yes, yeah. It's the entitlement of he thought that, hey, I can find a way to get away with this, and he almost did.
We're in an above-the-law era. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
And, people with a lot of money tend to think that they're above the law. And he's a kid who's already got a lot of money.
Yep.
And look, he knows Texas Tech is invested in him, and Texas Tech made it clear. Yeah, we'll look past the rules for you because you can play and we're giving you a bunch of money. And so, I think I talked about this on the show about being like a parent, and a coach.
Yeah.
A parent or a coach. Part of your job, you could argue the very biggest part of your job as a coach is molding young men.
Yep.
What message did you just send to all those clowns on your football team?
Yep.
Hey, guys, if you're good enough, we'll let you break any rule you want. All right? We'll take you to the hilt. Hey, you may not play against Southwest Baptist Idaho State. All right? You're going to have to sit that one out. All right? But we got your back for the rest of it.
Yep.
All right? I mean, if I'm a parent of one of those guys, they'll probably just care about how much their NIL money is. But if I'm a parent, I'm talking to that coach saying, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
My son will not play for you.
Right. That's what I wonder too, is like, where were his parents in all of this of like, hey, you messed up, take accountability for it. And I think you're right. If he had done that, this started in what, early May, when the accusations and the allegations first came out. If he had put out that statement of, I'm going to go seek help and I'll focus on football when I'm back to where I need to be as a human.
Yes.
And if he had done that and then 3 weeks ago came out and said, I've gone to inpatient
NFL supplemental
and
draft.
I'm going to enter the NFL supplemental draft.
He's in.
I think the NFL would have said, you know what? Okay, you've given us adequate time to review everything.
You've taken actions to correct your behavior. You've been accountable. Absolutely. He would not be in this mess, but it doesn't matter. And you know why? He's still getting paid by Texas Tech.
I know. Yeah.
So
are they paying him the full $5 million?
Yes.
No,
because I know he's already gotten $1 million.
Yes.
And
so
they said
I
he
think
could keep
I
that.
thought they said they were standing by their deal.
So no, they said they will not
what they've
ask
already
for
paid
any
him.
money back.
Okay.
But they're not going to pay him
I don't
anymore.
think they paid him the full $5 million.
All right.
But
he still got $1 million.
And still got money from Cincinnati?
Right. They tried to sue him.
He might have a
for.
little bit from Indiana, too.
Didn't he lose all his money from Cincinnati?
The legal fees for Jeffrey Kessler continue to go up,
They're
too.
just asking for $1 million.
Right.
Cincinnati.
So
he doesn't have it.
Instead of the common sense of, you know what, I gambled on my own sport.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm going to be allowed to play. He tried to fight it.
Yeah.
Then he won for a minute, but Texas Tech said, hey, there's too much backlash here.
Yeah, he won, but everybody knew that was the most crooked judgment of
course.
all time.
And then they come out with the Brendan Sorsby and Texas Tech have mutually agreed to part ways, and he's going to enter the supplemental draft. But then in the application for the supplemental draft, it says Texas Tech told him that he would not be allowed to play this year. So for Brendan Sorsby, he ran out of options, and now he's
because the Big 12 stood up and did what was right.
Right.
They said, we are going to destroy you.
Yes. They said, if you put him on the field, get ready because you're going to be sanctioned.
Some of the stuff I read, some of the stuff I read there, it was just basically, you don't have a choice.
Right.
This is going to cost you tens of millions of dollars.
So they told Sorsby, you will not be allowed to play. His only option at that point was the supplemental draft. But as the NFL said, 3 business days before the deadline.
And no explanation.
Right. And did not come forward with any documentation. I like that the NFL stood up and said, no, we're not going to do this. We don't have to do this.
I love what that statement says, not just to Brendan Sorsby, but to everybody.
Right.
And believe me, the NFL's not without its warts. But that statement is 110% on.
Yep.
And it's going to be plastered on the wall of every NFL facility.
Right.
Saying, Don't let this be you.
Right. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'll take your thoughts on this as well coming up next. We can talk about what Sorsby's next options are, as he's not going to be allowed to play college football or NFL football this year. And I know there is like a devil's advocate to this of the NFL's let some other people enter the supplemental draft who have done some pretty bad things. We can talk about all of this here in hour number one. Lots to get to on the show today. 615-737-1025. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly. Next man up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly with you on your Wednesday morning. The Brendan Sorsby saga took one final turn yesterday as the NFL announced there will be no supplemental draft, leaving Sorsby without a place to play football in 2026. We want to get your thoughts on this on our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Our friend Clay is called in. Clay, thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Jake, how are we doing this morning?
Doing great, Clay.
Corey, I always like calling in on Wednesday when you're on. I
appreciate
tend
it.
to like guys that do sports since I'm a sports junkie. My thing is I'm happy about it. I mean, with the wild, wild west as far as what's going on in the portal, mainly with, basketball and football, I'm all for what's right, and this is the right thing. I don't know this kid, but, if you bet on your own sport, in my opinion, you shouldn't play, period.
Yeah, Clay, I don't think there's only one person in his team in the world that are going to argue that point against that point.
And one judge.
Yeah, one judge. Yeah, like I said, his team. All right. I mean, it's simple. This is simple. And that's why I say nobody hates Brendan Sorsby.
No.
Nobody's like, I hate this kid. We're gonna shut him down. You're right. It's about what's right and what's wrong. And we see plenty of times in life where the powerful and the wealthy get away with things. And it's infuriating because you sit here and you say, if I did 1/10 of that, I'd be behind bars.
Right.
Or I'd be thrown out of my job. And, it's not that you've got pitchforks and torches and you're saying justice, but it's like, come on, man.
Common sense.
Yeah. When is common sense going to reign? And when is everyone going to be held accountable on at least a similar level for their actions?
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this. There usually is, because you'll see in the draft, if you watch the NFL draft, you'll see, at least I thought so, that you'll see a pick that, comes from supplemental draft or whatever. So so they're saying they're just not going to have one this year. I guess, so my question is, why would they say they're not going to have one if, normally there's been other guys, that have, gone through that way?
Yeah, no, it's a good question, Clay, and we appreciate your call. So the supplemental draft is meant for players who are deemed ineligible after the regular draft. So sometime between April and I guess right now here in June when the deadline is. So there have been some guys who have done some bad things, whether it's, domestic violence, drugs that have been kicked off their team and have been forced to enter the supplemental draft.
Is I think you're
right.
mostly talking about.
Josh Gordon got kicked out of Baylor and had to go and play for the Browns. He was a second round pick, I believe. So there's a lot that goes into this, and I understand the people who say a lot worse has been done that have allowed these players to play in the supplemental draft. But I do think that those players went about it in a better way than Brendan Sorsby did, who waited until the very end of we've got some cleaning going on here in the studio.
Yeah, I think I put this out on Twitter.
I'm glad that you guys have chosen right now to get this studio cleaned, and
it's the cleanest thing that's happened on this show today.
That's true.
We gotta make sure it's clean.
I appreciate it. You guys want me to lift up the laptop and there you go. You go right under it.
It's Rexroad's most physical activity in 2 years.
Make sure you get Big Joe's sign back there. 615-737-1025. So again, there have been guys who have done worse things than Brendan Sorsby, but I think the two reasons that the NFL elected not to have one this year is integrity of the game was threatened, and also he waited until the last possible second until he had exhausted all of his options in order to try and apply for the supplemental draft. I've been thrown off by Robbie and Rexroad.
Yeah.
Returning to the studio to make sure they get some cleaning in here. Summer cleaning going on here at 102.5 The Game today. 615-737-1025.
They're both married. They've both been there.
Are we going to clean off the whiteboard over there for Chase and Big Joe too?
And not until you use this as your question.
Okay, question of the day. What is a food you will never eat no matter how hungry you are? You got one, Corey? This is from a week ago.
Olives.
Olives, really?
Are you reading my mind back here,
I
Corey?
wish I loved olives. They look wonderful. My daughter loves them. She eats them like candy. And like I always want to eat. I want to like olives, but every time I put one in my mouth, I'm like,
I literally just said that to Robbie.
That is
Corey said it.
hilarious.
Polarizing food, so either you love them or hate them.
well, I get that,
yeah.
and I don't disparage people who love them.
I
wish I did.
Black olives are like my favorite thing. I will
See?
put it on anything. It's on my
There's
pizza
got to
order.
be something chemical in your taste buds.
Is it like cilantro where it's like some people it tastes like soap to them, like, and
Yeah.
other people like it? I wonder if it,
When people see a certain picture a certain way or the other way.
right, exactly, like the dress, the yellow, whatever.
Arugula.
Thank you, Joe
is
Rexroad.
another one. Like of all the leafy lettuces, arugula is like, bleh.
Yes. I love black olives. So to hear you guys say that is hilarious. Dustin says to tell Rexroad to double check he doesn't forget his laptop. I don't know if Joe's still in there, but
He didn't forget it.
you didn't forget it.
It just got stolen.
Yeah. If it's still in here, we'll take it. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. Today, the Nashville Sounds take on the Gwinnett Stripers, the AAA affiliate of the Atlanta Braves at First Horizon Park. First pitch is at 6:35, and you can catch all of the action on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Twin Peaks Family Leisure, Maple Street Biscuit Company, Mad Fireworks, and Social Cantina. We'll wrap up hour number 1 after this on the Brendan Sorsby saga. We'll take your thoughts as well. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly. Our cleaning crew of Joe Rexroad, Robbie Stanley, and Chase McCabe have since moved on. It's feeling much nicer in here.
It smells fresh.
It does. It smells fresh in here. They did turn off the call screener for a second.
I'm not
I
gonna lie. I come in here
on.
sometimes. It is not fresh.
Well, that's why the summer cleaning was needed. And
Summer flamethrower.
We're so glad that Robbie, Joe, and Chase could help us out mid thought as I was responding to Clay. Let's go back to the phone lines again. We're talking about Brendan Sorsby here as the NFL has decided not to hold a supplemental draft this year, despite Brendan Sorsby applying. Let's go to Coach B on the phone lines. Coach B, thanks for calling. Good morning.
Hey, so I'm not calling in to defend gambling on the sport by the players or anything like that, but
Yep.
I do think that there's a double standard in how players are treated. I think that we as in the fans and also the media, I think everybody holds these players to a very high standard. But, obviously there's concerns about gambling and impropriety, but there's not the same concerns voiced by the media and people about leagues doing deals with DraftKings and FanDuels and stuff like that. They don't make the same concerns about sport integrity when the leagues make deals with these people. And I think that that's a unfair double standard, just like when Jim Harbaugh ran away from NCAA sanctions and the NFL didn't punish him the same way that they're crushing Sorsby.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll as well.
Yeah. So
Now,
it seems like there's a double standard for players versus people who are a part of the front office or staffs or stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I think they're not the faces of the team.
Yeah.
They're not the reason people turn on the TV. But you're right. And that's what we're talking about. You want to see the same level of accountability for everyone. So yeah, you'd like to see some of that same level of accountability in the front offices. The players, the leagues are about the players. And so that's always going to happen. They're also the ones who determine who wins and who loses.
Right.
And that's what people are vested in. So yeah, those two coaches did escape NCAA violations. If it had been gambling, I think it would be different.
Yeah.
I think it would be different. And, we do have high standards for these guys. They do get away with a lot of times. They do make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I think, for people who make a lot of money, that money doesn't come from nowhere. People have to invest in you.
Yep.
And the more money people have invested in you,
the higher standard you're being held to.
Yep. The higher your bar is.
Yep.
And, that's just kind of the way it goes. I mean, look, we always said it. If Brendan Sorsby was the third string quarterback and
he would have been thrown off the team and no one would have ever heard from him again.
Nope.
Nope. And I agree with what Coach B is saying of like, it feels hypocritical when it's like on the NFL Network, there'll be no supplemental draft. Brendan Sorsby's not going to play. Now let's go over to Cynthia Freeland with our over-unders brought to you by DraftKings. It's like, I understand there's some hypocrisy there.
It is, but how do these players get paid?
Yes.
So they're getting their DraftKings money. And again, the rules are spelled out.
It's not against the rules for the NFL to partner with DraftKings. It is against the rules for a college player to bet on their own sport.
It's against the rules for you to bet on a college sport.
Yes. Yeah. We've talked about that too.
It's against the rules for Amy Adams Strunk to bet on her Titans. So, they do have the same rules. Now, are they being monitored? Are they being, enforced the same? I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't tell you that. But everybody knows the rules.
Yes.
I think that's the number one thing. This wasn't a secret.
No, and it's not like it was a one-time mistake.
No.
It was a blatant disregard for the rules.
I mean, look, when Nicholas Petit-Frere got suspended 6 games for playing fantasy football.
Well, he was making bets. It was just on the team facility. It wasn't on the NFL.
Yeah, well, it was fantasy football.
No, he did his fantasy football partnership later on, which everybody laughed about.
No, man, he was playing daily fantasy.
Oh, that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's my understanding.
I thought he was betting on other sports, but
no,
it was in the team facility, which was the issue.
Yes, and they monitor All those
Right.
sites monitor where the bets happen.
Right.
And so, yes, the fact that it happened in the team facility was how he was caught.
Yes.
Okay. But that wasn't necessarily betting on, that was building a lineup. Right. Building a lineup.
But there's money involved.
There's money involved. And Nicholas Petit-Frere, one of the smarter Titans that's come through here. I mean, like really a genuinely very smart guy. And, I don't know how he didn't know that was part of it. But again, like you said, it's the same rules for everybody involved with the teams.
Yep.
And it's spelled out. I mean, Robert Saleh was asked about it. He said it's part of the NFL education.
Right.
Every year.
Yep.
Every year. If you don't know, it's on you. And I'm sure in college sports, there is similar education for everybody, especially with the prevalence of gambling today.
100%.
Well, legal gambling. There was always prevalence of gambling.
Yes, but now it's
legal.
on your phone.
Now we pay taxes.
One thing Coach B said there with Jim Harbaugh, I just thought about this last night, and I'm sure other people have said this, but Michigan has won 2 national championships in the last 3 years, and both coaches who won it will never coach another game for Michigan. The last game they coached was winning the national title.
Well, isn't Dusty May also running from possible NCAA sanctions for some
I didn't know that.
I think it's tampering in the transfer portal.
Well, he drafted his own guy last night at number 9, Merez Johnson.
So, I think that's one of the stories I read is that there's trouble down the chute.
Gotcha.
Now I hear Billy Donovan's going to get that job.
Really?
Which is a great hire.
Well, they promoted Mike Boynton as their interim coach.
Okay.
But I don't know what their plan is long term there.
If I were them, I'd just put a blank contract in front of Billy Donovan and say, come on.
It probably would be a pretty good idea to get him back to college after what he did at Florida. 615-737-1025. Back to the phone lines. Dustin in Hopkinsville is called in. Dustin, good morning. Thanks for calling.
Good morning, guys. I'm not on the YouTube. Are they in the little black maid outfit and looking back at you winking?
If they were, I would not be here.
Give Joe a good lollipop next time and make sure you got those outfits on hand.
I think I'm going to go throw
and by the way, Robbie, make sure when y'all leave today, do the little kid check. Make sure he's tied his shoes, let him go potty, and make sure he's got his iPad and his laptop.
Thanks.
But hey, John Harbaugh, in my opinion, done something way worse than this kid. And this is the man teaching the young men. So you're not going to smack the leader in the face and make him an example. I think what he did is no less than the same. I think it's worse. Like the young men on the team had to know they were stealing signs. Like, come on, man. Even if they didn't, like now they do. And he marched his way right in the NFL, and nothing's said, nothing's done. And now you're taking this kid. It's his own dang fault. Yes. Yeah. And he needs to take responsibility. But in my opinion, at 20-something years old, I got so many speeding tickets and things. I was an idiot.
Yep.
This kid's an idiot. I don't know where his leadership is. I'd like to dive deeper into it.
That's the most troubling thing to me.
If his parents are still together, if his dad's in his life, if his mom's out, if he's raised by his grandparents, I need to know more about this kid. Or if he's just some rich kid who thinks he can get away with anything. And it's more on these dang colleges. They do need reprimanded hard on the colleges before the kids, because they're the ones leading it. They're the ones that say, hey, this is okay. Yep. So this isn't all on him. It is, at the end of the day, he's the one who reaps the repercussions. However, it is not fair. And for for Harbaugh to be in this league and this kid instantly, after he's going to try to take the supplemental draft, they instantly addressed it. That's so hypocritical. And in my opinion, I don't know that it's over. I feel like if he wants in the NFL, he better shut the heck up, sit down. But then again, he could say, you know what, I've got a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm going to push this thing as far as I can with this money that I've got from Cincinnati and Texas Tech. And I am going to go up against the big dog, the NFL. I mean,
he's going to lose.
He might. But
no, he's going to lose.
If there's a fight, I still would. I would do it just to make the NFL look bad about Harbaugh and bring it to light more.
Let me ask you this, Jake. How many games was Belichick suspended for Spygate?
Was he suspended at all?
Was it 2?
Yeah, it was. I was going to say it wasn't much.
No,
because like Brady got 4 for Deflategate.
Yeah, which was ridiculous.
There's a double standard.
Yeah, well, but I guess what I'm saying is
not against the men teaching them. Not against the men teaching them.
But that's what I'm saying is Belichick wasn't really punished for that, right? And then they burned the tapes. And so the stage was set for Harbaugh to get away with it because the precedent was set that they weren't going to punish you that hard.
Right.
Where gambling has always been a hard line.
Yeah.
But he's not wrong. He's not wrong. I mean, Belichick should have gotten hammered for that.
Well, and Harbaugh, like the NCAA has punished him. How many years show cause is he facing if he ever goes back?
He's not.
He's not going back. But like there was a punishment. He just ran from it.
Yeah. Yeah, and
that's what Sorsby was trying to do.
That's what Sorsby was trying to do. And the timeline also hurt him there.
Yeah.
And has Jim Harbaugh taken accountability?
No, not at all.
No, and he never will.
Nope.
And so is there a double standard there? Yeah. Yeah, there is.
It's just a different violation, right?
It is.
And you're right. There's a hard line on gambling. That one is, I don't want to say gray area, but there's more nuance to it.
Also from the PR front, how much did we hear about that when Jim Harbaugh took the Chargers job? Not much.
Yeah, not a ton.
And how much would we hear about Brendan Sorsby for the next 2 years?
A lot.
Yeah. I mean, everything about him would be about overs and unders.
Right.
And betting lines. And so PR wise, it's apples and oranges.
Right.
And I appreciate everything Dustin said, but it's different.
Yeah. I would agree with that. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. We'll take your thoughts if you have any more on the Sorsby situation, but I do want to touch on the new eligibility model in college sports. The NCAA is set to go to an age-based model that would give players, student athletes, 5 years to play 5 seasons. No more red shirts, no more waivers. 5 and 5. We'll talk about it coming up next. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up. 102.5 The Game. Second hour, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly, broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Spent most of the first hour on the news in the Brendan Sorsby saga. The NFL will not hold a supplemental draft this year, leaving Sorsby in a tough spot heading into 2026. Can't play college football, can't play NFL football. We'll see if he plays football of any kind leading up to the 2027 NFL draft. But I did want to get to the other big news of the day yesterday. The D1 committee has approved unanimously an age-based eligibility model, which would give student athletes 5 years to play up to 5 seasons of college sports from the day they enroll or their 19th birthday, whichever one comes earlier. So you wouldn't get any players beyond the age of 24 in college sports anymore. The way it is being put into place is the big question mark right now.
Okay.
Where anybody who still has eligibility heading into this year will be able to choose whichever one is better for them. So, for example, I'll use Vanderbilt women's basketball. Michaela Blakes and Aubrey Galvin would have had 4 years of eligibility, but now they would have a 5th if they so choose to use it.
And in women's basketball, they may
they might. So they would be governed under that. However, Madison Green, who's also on Vanderbilt's women's basketball team, she got a medical waiver her first year and redshirted last year, both because of injury. So she would still have 3 years remaining, even though that would be 6 years of college for her. She can use that one because it benefits her the most. Anybody entering college sports from now on is on the age-based model, 5 and 5.
Okay. No, go ahead.
I was going to say the big question mark is the class that just graduated.
Yeah.
The high school class of 2022. They did not get an extra year due to COVID on the front end. And the rule also says they do not get a year on the back end because they're already out of eligibility. So we've already seen lawsuits being put into place trying to get them an extra year.
Like the rules change.
Right.
And that's, if I'm hearing that, I'm saying, I'm sorry, rules changed. Did you have bad luck in your timing?
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, the rules were different 30 years ago. The rules were different 20 years ago. Oh my gosh. I left the year before NIL. I should get money. No, it's just,
right.
It's not the way it works.
Yep.
I mean, is it unfortunate? Sure. Yeah. I'm sorry. But rules change. These rules seem to make some logical sense. I think they have different ramifications in different sports. Like I could see baseball players and women's basketball players sticking around longer.
Right.
Like you're around like women's basketball and college sports more than me. We see a lot of 5th-year transfers.
Yeah.
And I think we will see with this a lot of guys. I mean, we already see a ton of transfers, but I think even more now we'll see people play their 4 years, get their degrees, and move on somewhere else for the 5th year. Do you think that's accurate?
Yeah, that was the case during COVID when everybody got the extra COVID year. You saw a lot more grad transfers.
Well, because I think, look, people don't understand this. These scholarships these kids are on a year-by-year issue. That's not like guaranteed 4 years.
Right.
It has to be renewed every year. And I think a lot more schools are going to be like, hey, you got your degree. It's time to move on. We took care of you. And that's if you're a mediocre to sub-mediocre player.
Yeah.
If you're a good player, they're going to just say, hey, go to grad school.
Right.
Whatever. But so you'll see a lot of those guys who are the back end, the middle, moving on for their next opportunity for someone who can really use what they've got to offer.
Yep.
Again, there's so much transferring going on already. I don't know if we'll be able to notice that, but that's my guess.
I think it's a good step for college sports. There's been the question of all these waivers and it leads to lawsuits. And it's like, all right, you got 5 years to play 5. If you get injured for a year, great. That's baked into it.
Yep.
And, there are going to be some situations where kid gets hurt 2 years or maybe doesn't play his first year and gets hurt the second year. And I think just the way the NCAA has put this forward has said, we're eliminating all of the gray area from this. You get 5 years to play 5. And then after that, you got to move on.
You know what? You know me, I'm not the NCAA's biggest fan. I think they're right. I think it simplifies things. And also times have changed in a lot of areas. Jake, when I was 18 years old and guys went to college, most of the time they were redshirted was because they weren't physically ready to compete on a collegiate level against 21 and 22-year-old men.
Right.
The high school athlete headed to college sports today is completely different.
100%.
Completely. Now, I brought up Keaton Wagler. He is a young man who still achieved at a very high level in college, despite not being what I would call physically ready.
Yeah.
And certainly now he's going to the NBA. He's got to put on some weight and some muscle as well. But we saw that with Wemby, and he's doing just fine. But so the red shirt now is different because, like I said, for a long time it was used to get guys physically ready, and I think that's a reasonable use of a red shirt year to say he physically he's not ready, and now okay, here's Grant Miller, Fred Miller's son, who lived with me for a summer before he went to Vanderbilt and played 3 years guard and center for them. When he showed up at my door, he was 255 pounds, 6'4.5", 255 pounds. But he's a big kid. They wanted him at 300.
Yeah.
Okay. And I spent a lot of money on food. All right. Feeding him. By the way, exceptional young man. And loved having him be a part of our family.
I did not know that you hosted him.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we know his mom.
Gotcha.
I knew Fred, but we knew his mom better. And so we got to know him a little bit. And, they had moved away to Florida and he was going to Vanderbilt and said, hey, can he stay with you? And we had a big house. We were like, we had no kids at that point. We're like, yeah, come on in. And so it was great. It was great. It was great having him there. But he, at that point, he really strong, but at 255 pounds was not ready to be an offensive lineman in the SEC.
Right.
And so it took him a year. It took him a year to get his weight up to where he needed it to be. And
this allows you to, I guess it gets rid of, they've kind of made the red shirt more of a gray area as we've gone. It used to be you couldn't play at all. Then it was, all right, you can play in 4 games. Now it's, hey, you can play as much as you want. You're going to get that 5th year no matter what. And it allows schools to get their players on the field faster too, but also if a guy's not ready, they don't feel as bad if they sit him or her for a year.
Well, and they're also getting paid now too.
Right.
So you're sitting and you're getting paid.
Yeah.
I mean, and you get 5 years to get paid, which is great. Again, I'm all for these guys making money. Now, there needs to be rules.
Right.
Sure. Didn't Nebraska just change their rules where like all the players are getting the same money?
Oh, I think that was fake.
That was fake?
I want to say it was fake.
There were a couple of confirmed.
That came out the same day as the Mario Cristobal fake thing.
There's been there's so much misinformation out there on social media.
Yeah.
I always try and check because I saw that too. It was like Matt Rule has leveled out
Will
everybody.
Compton reposted it.
Yes, Will Compton.
It. So maybe I thought it was real.
That's probably where I saw
Will Compton spread it, but I think it was fake.
Well,
it was
that's
like
a fairly large audience to spread it to.
It was like the 4th of July England USA game thing that was being spread around where everybody's like, can you imagine in Philadelphia on the 250th anniversary the US plays England?
I read that.
And I was like, yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I looked at the bracket. I'm like, there is zero chance for England to play in that game.
By the way, England was not good yesterday.
No, they were not. Ghana probably should have beaten them.
Shout out Ghana.
The African nations,
they're playing well.
They're standing up.
I mean,
man.
Senegal they gave up.
Cape Verde's got 2 draws.
I know. If they beat Saudi Arabia, they advance.
Who did they draw against the other day?
Uruguay
and Spain. A nation of 530,000 people.
I can't even pronounce the name of the country properly, but how about it?
With a 40-year-old goalkeeper playing out of his mind.
Yeah. Did you see his Instagram?
No.
He had like 50,000 followers or something heading into the World Cup. He's at like 20 million now.
Wow. I mean, look.
Him and Freddie are doing well.
You talk about the power of sports. I know we're getting off topic here, but the power of sports, that country is forever changed by the World Cup.
By 2 draws. Like they haven't won a game, but it's like,
Spain could not beat them.
I know. Spain, the favorite.
Yes. I mean, it is. I mean, I'm trying to, I think I bring up Hoosiers with them, that it's that kind of David and Goliath story.
No, that's what I asked Nick Frazier when he was in last week, because I think it happened on Monday and he came in Tuesday. I said, give me like a college football equivalent. He said, this is App State, Michigan, right? Like that's what he said.
Yeah,
but
no, it's not, because Michigan won ranked number 1 at the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Like this would be Ohio State.
I mean, it would be like UMBC, UVA. UVA was the number 1 overall seed.
That's what that is.
So
that's what that is.
Yeah. Now that has been the story of the tournament so far.
But for them to follow it up with another draw against another good team
and
is crazy.
Came from behind too. Well, they went up 1-0, then gave up 2, and then were able to tie it.
Did you see this first goal they scored?
Awesome.
It was like from almost midfield.
Right, just rolled it right through.
I said that's the longest goal I've seen since Jamie Tart on Ted Lasso. I was like, holy crap. I mean, it was a missile. I mean, look, I don't know anything about that country, but outside of the United States, that's who I'm rooting for.
I agree.
Go get them. So,
I agree.
African nations.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, Senegal nearly was able to get a draw against Norway.
Well, I watched them against the U.S. They're good.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah, they got Sadio Mane, who's he's actually a Premier League player for them.
Is.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. We're talking about the new 5-and-5 eligibility model the NCAA put forth. And
is that what we were talking about?
Yeah, at one point, yes. But I do want to kind of pair this with the MLB possibly changing their draft rules too, which these two things paired together could change college baseball in a huge way.
Okay.
And we can talk about that coming up next. 615.
Baseball's got more than one draft though, right? Well, I mean, they've got the international.
Well, you're right. They don't have an international draft. They're talking about an international draft.
They need one.
Instead of just free-for-all free agency.
Well, they sign too many 16-year-old kids.
Kids who say they're 16 sometimes too.
Yes, it goes both ways.
And then there's the Rule 5 draft too that they have every year. But the MLB entry draft.
The only league with more drafts is the MLS.
That is true. Yes. 615-737-1025. Our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly. Next man up. 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly, surrounded by Cubs fans.
Sing it with me, Cory. Come on.
Go Cubs, go! Go Cubs, go! Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today. They won last night.
They did.
PCA, baby.
Taking it to Toronto's Mets.
Yeah. TD on vacation this week.
Enjoy
I doubt
the
he's
game.
paying too much attention to that. The Mets and Tigers, I want to say, have the same record.
The Cubs,
Not good.
So the Cubs have been all over the place this year. I mean, all over the place. But they appear to be headed back in a good direction. And Pete Crow-Armstrong is on what is a historic bender right now for the Cubs. I mean, he is drunk.
That's a good way to put it.
I was going to say.
That's a great way to put it.
He is drunk at home plate. I'm not even kidding. He's got like 12 homers in the last 24 games. His on base, his OBS is well over 1,000 or whatever that number is. His numbers over like a 24 game span were better than like any player in the history of baseball.
He is turned into a superstar.
Yeah.
And did he hit for the cycle? I know
Yeah.
Bryce Harper
The
hit
reverse cycle.
He hit for the cycle.
Yeah, that's true.
And,
He
and
went
got
back.
immediately picked off.
Yes. I was going to say, I know he hit for the cycle and then
In
Harper
true
hit for the
Cubs
cycle.
fashion. And so they got him from the Dodgers in a trade when he was in the minors. I'm not sure who the Cubs traded to get him.
I know.
Okay, who's that?
Javier Baez.
Okay. They traded him to the Dodgers?
No, he was on the Mets.
I thought they got Pete Crow-Armstrong from the Dodgers.
No, I think PCA got drafted by the Dodgers.
And went to the Mets?
Then got traded to the Mets and then the Cubs.
Okay. So, look, I grew up never hearing the end of Lou Brock for Ernie Broglio.
Yeah.
And I'm dating myself here because a lot of you may not really know who Lou Brock is. He's a Hall
I know who Lou Brock is, yeah.
No, but I mean, for those of you who know, he's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest base stealers of all time. And in an era where the stolen base was a big weapon because not that many home runs were hit. You could win the league home run title with 28. Okay? That's real. And so, and Lou Brock played center field for the Cardinals and was a Hall of Fame player for them.
Yep.
And the Cubs traded him for Ernie Broglio, who was a starting pitcher for the Cardinals, who had won 20 games. But when he got to the Cubs, he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And so I had Lou Brock for Ernie Broglio, worst trade in baseball history, shoved down my throat from the time I started watching the Cubs. And now I see this trade. And look, Javi Baez didn't do it for the Mets. He's come back and had some good times for the Tigers.
Yeah, he's been hurt this year, but was good last year.
This is Marty Erat for Philip Forsberg for the Cubs. This is a hell of a trade.
In hockey and baseball, when you trade for prospects, it's like there's always going to be those ones where they turn out like Fernando Tatis was in the trade for big game James Shields. Like that was a big one. The one that, again, I wasn't alive for this, but the Tigers traded John Schmaltz for, I have to look it up.
That was a big trade.
They traded him for some.
And he was a Michigan kid.
John Schmaltz for Doyle Alexander.
Yeah, well, Doyle won a lot of games. Weren't they trying to win the World Series?
I think, it was 1987. So they just won it 3 years earlier.
Yeah, so you're going for it, and you trade away a Hall of Fame pitcher.
My favorite Tigers trade ever, though, was they traded for Miguel Cabrera and Dontrelle Willis from the Marlins, and Andrew Miller was the big piece going back the other way, who turned into a really good reliever later in his career, but never did anything for the Marlins.
Yeah. Dontrelle Willis, he was something.
Yeah, he was. The D train.
Yeah, I remember he came up with the Cubs.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was all over the place. Miguel Cabrera, one of the best hitters of this generation.
Yeah, he was.
The
he was
Marlins gave him away. Speaking of the MLB, we were talking about the new eligibility model in college sports, and the MLB is now proposing a new draft model where high school players would not be eligible.
Really?
You would have to play at least 2 years in college baseball before entering the draft. So that, paired with all players getting an extra year of eligibility, I think that's going to improve the product of college baseball a ton.
So an 18-year-old can't.
No more high school entries into the draft.
So where do those kids go if they don't go to college?
The Savannah Bananas.
Okay, so it's just like football. It's just like football.
Yes, it would be like football, or basketball. It would be kind of in between.
Yeah, but I guess you could play like D2 baseball and stuff like that if you didn't get a D1. But yeah, I mean, it's going to dramatically.
I guess you could go to JUCO maybe for a year and then
Mm-hmm.
enter the draft or something like that. But
you could play JUCO for 2,
right? But
you think about all the players that Tim Corbin has lost to the draft.
Even the last few years, like Max Clark.
Look, this could be the most dramatic change to college baseball ever.
Right.
And it's not even close. You talk about the level of play rising. And let's be honest here. This isn't about trying to do right by the kids. This is about eliminating minor league baseball.
Right.
Because they now understand that college baseball is committed enough to develop these kids.
Yep.
Where it wasn't before. They thought they could do a better job when they were 18 or 19 years old of getting them ready to play in the big leagues. Now they're going to have a better idea of who these guys really are.
Right.
And they're not going to have to field. I mean, let's face it. 80% of minor league, that number's probably off. It's probably low. It's probably higher than this. Of minor league rosters are full of guys who will never sniff the major leagues.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they just, because they have to fill out teams.
Right.
But they've got a handful of guys that they're circling as big leaguers.
And I agree with you that you'd probably see low A, high A go away, rookie ball, and then you'd go to, basically it would be college is your low minors, and then you'd go straight to double A.
What's the name of that league? There's the league that's not in the minor league system.
Oh, the MLB Draft League is one of them. There's the Frontier League.
Northwoods League?
That's college baseball.
Frontier League, maybe.
Didn't
Ricky Henderson go and play in one of these like later in his life?
Yeah, there's like indie ball leagues.
Yeah, independent ball.
Yeah,
independent. That's what I think you would see a massive growth in independent ball.
Right.
Except for the fact that NIL, these guys can make money now. In college.
Right.
But
like,
not all of them will.
You saw Kumar Rocker went and played indie ball for a year after he got signed.
Exactly what I'm talking about.
No, it would flip college baseball upside down. Again, this is part of the CBA negotiations, I think. So this is probably still a year or two away.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers to that.
But getting rid of high school entrance into the draft, I mean, think of all of the great players who have been drafted into baseball who never touched college baseball because they didn't have to, right?
Well, how many top 10 picks has Tim Corbin lost?
Yeah, I mean, think about the guy in the Pirates system who is just lighting it up right now, Seth Hernandez, he's like averaging 100 miles an hour with his fastball in Double A. He was a Vandy commit.
Yeah.
Max Clark was the 3rd overall pick to the Tigers 3 years ago. He was a Vandy commit. So it would. College baseball, I think, would rejoice for this because they spend so much time and effort on recruiting these players, and it still looks good for you, even if you recruit a player who goes 4th overall and he never steps on campus.
But you lose a star,
right.
You lose a star.
Right. Last year, I'm blanking on his name. Vandy had an outfield commit who I think they felt okay might make it to campus. And the Orioles just offered him a ridiculous amount of money.
Well, Pedro Alvarez, Sonny Gray, any of these guys.
Right.
Just imagine if they'd taken the money and left.
Yeah, David Price.
Yeah, but they all went to Vanderbilt, and now you talk about like way more of those guys.
Yeah. No, it's I don't know if this is actually going to go through. And they also said because like 4312 asked, what about all the foreign players? The international pool would be flipped upside down. They are talking about having an international draft too. So I think it would be when the international players turn 18, then they would draft those people instead of you just get right now. It's you get a pool. And
that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. You can draft 18-year-old international players, but you can't draft 18-year-old Americans.
Right.
So that's not going to work.
Yeah.
That's not an equal opportunity situation.
Right.
So if you're going to do that, if you're going to have that rule, you're probably gonna have to put an age number on it.
Yeah.
That guys aren't eligible until they're like, I guess you could say 19 on this year or whatever it is. Because you can't take 18-year-olds from one country and not take them from another. Yeah.
That I guess that is true. That is a lawsuit waiting to happen because it's going to be, well, you guys are drafting these 18-year-old
my son here in Franklin, I don't have one, but I'm just saying, say my son here in Franklin throws 100 miles an hour. All right.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, we want to go to big league baseball, but they're saying we got to go to college for 2 years. All right, we're going to move to the Dominican.
Right.
Then that way you can get drafted.
Yeah, you are now Dominican,
Yeah.
and you are going to be 18 years old, and you'll go play minor league baseball.
Yeah.
William from Madison with a nice little nugget here. You know who else was a Vanderbilt commit?
Who's that?
Pete Crow Armstrong that we were just talking about.
Really?
Yeah, PCA was a Vanderbilt commit.
I did not know
I just
that.
looked it up. So,
well, the Cubs GM is a former Corbin player.
yes, you're right.
Yeah, but early on.
Yeah.
Very early, Tim Corbin.
No, then no one would be happier about this than college baseball again, because like you put all these resources into recruiting these high-level players that a lot of times never even put your uniform on.
Like I said, I think you will see a growth in the independent league.
Yeah.
Both foreign and domestic players. But you think about the small towns like Salem and all those, Wilkes-Barre, all that will lose teams.
Right.
They're really the biggest losers in this. Baseball saves a ton of money, like they need it. And college baseball just improves their product head over heels.
Right.
So they're both the big winners. The smaller towns that I don't want to say they revolve around these small teams because they don't.
Right.
But they're part of the fabric of them.
Yep. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. We'll take your thoughts. 1025 The Game will have live coverage of the NHL draft starting on Friday at 6 p.m. with Willie Donick, Max Hers, and other Preds broadcasters. We will take you through the end of the first round as the Preds currently have the 10th overall pick. NHL draft coverage on 1025 The Game is presented by Tennessee Brewworks and the UPS store Green Hills. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly with you on your Wednesday morning. Next man up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly alongside you. We want to hear from you. You can text or call. Our phone line's driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel at 102.5 The Game for live shows and exclusive content. Wrapping up our college sports conversation, we kind of married two things together in the last segment, the possible new CBA for the MLB that would eliminate high school entrance into the draft, and the new 5-and-5 age-based eligibility model that the NCAA approved yesterday. Now, lawsuits are already coming down. We talked about this a little bit. There's a lawsuit of, I believe, of 70 different athletes, including former Vanderbilt basketball player MJ Collins, who would be on his fourth school. He started at Virginia Tech. He was there when I was still a student. Was at Vanderbilt for a year, then was at Utah State last year, and now he would be at Cincinnati if he gains eligibility. The lawyer who is pushing this forward is actually the lawyer who helped Diego Pavia a few years ago. So this is something that I'm sure the NCAA knew was going to happen when they put these rules in place. The question will be, is there a case to get these class of 2022 athletes an extra year?
Look, everybody sees the NCAA losing lawsuits left and right. So no matter how much we disagree with some of these lawsuits, they're going to keep coming forward because they're winning, whether they should be or not.
Right.
I mean, we talked about Diego Pavia getting that year, and should he have? And, there's some question, to me is, do you have the opportunity in Division II and in junior college to earn like you do in Division I?
Right.
And so how many years of Division I eligibility do you have versus JUCO? Should JUCO count against your D1 eligibility?
Because it's not NCAA.
Yes,
right.
Yeah. And that's a fair argument to make.
Yes.
These arguments are just and again, a skilled lawyer could probably convince me otherwise. They seem to be just sour grapes that you didn't fit the timeline.
Right. I think that's exactly what it is. And I feel for the class of 2022 because it's like you just missed getting the extra year because of COVID, and you're going to just miss the extra year because of the rule change. But sometimes that's just how it happens.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's frustrating, but I don't know if there's legal.
But for a lot of those guys, that extra year was 6.
Right. I just don't know if there's legal basis for it. Yeah. And I agree with you that people see the NCAA losing lawsuits. And it's like, hey, let's just pile on and see if we can get.
They're like lions, and the NCAA is like this wounded fawn in the middle of the meadow.
I just wonder what impact this would have on these teams, because you've
got to take him back.
Right. With the way it's being applied right now, schools have a year to figure out, all right, here's how we're going to get inside our scholarship limit. Here's what we're going to do with our team.
You say that, but in the middle of the season, they can bring a guy from the NBA onto their roster.
Yeah, that's true.
So if they think he can help them win, they'll figure it out.
Right. I just wonder if some of these players who are applying for eligibility, it's like, all right, you could get eligible, but is your team going to have you back? Like, is there a spot for you at this point?
Someone will.
Somebody will, probably. I mean,
how many teams did what was that quarterback from Southern Cal's name? JT
Daniels? JT Daniels, yeah.
JT Daniels.
How many schools he play for? 17?
It was at least 4. Yeah,
that's the most ridiculous college career I have ever heard of.
It was Georgia, USC, West Virginia, Rice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he stunk at all of them.
Well, no, the worst one is TJ Finley. I want to look through his schools.
I think it's 7.
Yeah. So you're
7.
Let me read off.
I wish I was lying.
Let me read off TJ Finley and his career stats.
Like, I want to know the 7th school who said, "Yeah, come on board. This will work out."
Well, so he only actually was enrolled at 5, but I want to say there were other ones where he tried to go to and it didn't work out. So TJ Finley started his career in 2020 at LSU. Then he went to Auburn for 2 years, then Texas State, then Western Kentucky, and last year he played at Georgia State. He actually played against Vanderbilt.
Man, you talk about a slide down.
Yeah. LSU.
Surprised he didn't wind up playing AA. He could have played at Southern.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, maybe that's what he's trying to do right now.
Get a 19th year to play there.
Yeah, like the TJ Finley. I want to see, because I feel like there are other schools that he tried to play for. And so he tried to play at Tulane and couldn't play there. So that's 6 schools.
He couldn't play anywhere. That's the argument.
Oh, and then he just committed to play for Incarnate Word if he can get another year of eligibility.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. So
why would Incarnate Word want
hang
him?
it up?
It's
time to hang it up.
I mean, look, he's proven he can't play.
He has at some point been committed to or enrolled at 7 different schools. 7.
Man, I mean, that's why I say, you got to look at somebody's baggage and say, do we want this guy?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason he's on his 7th commitment.
Right.
That he needs to get his life together.
He needs indeed.
We all have different paths in our lives. We all have different obstacles to overcome, but some of us are better than others at creating those obstacles for ourselves.
Right.
What was the great line from Chris Farley and Tommy Boy? Lots of people go to college for 7 years. Yeah, they're called
doctors. Yeah. I was thinking of like TJ Finley's becoming Van Wilder.
Just a career college student?
Yes. Yeah. Scott on the text line says the NCAA could avoid all this by just grandfathering them in. And that's true. They could avoid all the legal trouble. But
then the class of 2021 wants their year.
And also, what about all of the NFL, the college players who ran out of eligibility and went into the draft? Like, then you're going to get lawsuits on your hands there because, like, now they are ineligible because they've signed NFL contracts.
Yeah.
But these guys who were 6th round picks that wanted another year and didn't get it, like, there's not an easy way to do it. I think the best way is the way they're doing it is that hard cutoff line.
Look, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, these are the rules. All right. If you don't fit the rules, I'm sorry. But these are the rules. Did you get your 4 years?
Right.
Yeah. Did you have an opportunity to redshirt for a 5th, but you didn't need it? Well, then you fulfilled your eligibility.
Yep.
All right. So sorry, we're changing eligibility rules now. Because to me, you could argue that 5th year, 5-year only applies to guys who are entering their freshman year this year.
Yeah.
It starts now. The clock starts now. If you could enter college football now or college sports now.
Yeah.
I would say that's fair, but they're doing a solid to all the guys already in school.
Right.
You don't have to do a solid for guys who are out of school.
Yes.
Okay. Them's the breaks.
And that's why there's no easy way for them to do this. I think this is the best way to do it. Draw the line in the sand and say, hey, it's a cutoff. Like, we're sorry.
Look,
but
they should go to court and the NCAA should say, Cory Curtis agrees with us.
There you go.
And this guy hates us.
Yeah.
And the judges go, case closed.
Yep. This court is now adjourned. 615-737-1025 is the phone number. We'll take your thoughts on our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We'll wrap up hour number 2 after this. Coming up in the final hour of this show, we'll talk some Preds. We'll also talk tight end U. It is in town. And Taylor Swift took the stage last night, but we'll talk more about Gunnar Helm and some of the other tight ends who are gracing Nashville this week. 615-737-1025. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up. 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly with you. Wrapping up the second hour on the show. We'll talk some Preds in the final hours. We gear up for the NHL draft on Friday. Free agency opens a week from today. You heard Love Story there. We'll also hit on tight end Taylor Swift, in attendance this week here in Nashville. But Cory, did want to expand on our World Cup thoughts here as we hit match day 3 here in the group stage. Going to be 6 games a day for the next, 5 days to wrap up the group stage before we get into the round of 32 coming up next week. So going to be some exciting games coming up over the next few days. Today, the one to watch for the U.S. actually starts at 2 o'clock. Bosnia and Herzegovina takes on Qatar at 2 o'clock. If Bosnia wins that match or draws, they will be the U.S.'s opponent in the round of 32.
They are a heavy favorite,
yes.
So that is to be expected, and they're no joke.
No, it's not a bad team.
No,
but
I mean, look, it's someone we can lose to.
I don't know if
we're going to be favored,
yes,
and we should win, but there's someone we can lose to.
Yes, I wanted to make the point that once you're in the World Cup, anybody can beat anyone. You're, especially with the way soccer is, and we saw Cape Verde,
but that's
scoreless
really
draw,
unusual.
Yes, but yes, Bosnia.
That's why we're raving about
Bosnia is not a team that the U.S. would be a lock to beat. The U.S. should be pretty heavy favorites.
Yep.
And the path as it's laid out right now would be Bosnia, then Egypt in the round of 16 as it stands right now.
That's a pretty good path to 8.
And then it would be Spain.
Who couldn't beat Cape Verde? So,
right.
Anything's possible.
Look, if this U.S. team got to the round of 8,
it's the first time they'd done it in a quarter of a century.
I think everybody'd be pretty happy.
Yep, I agree.
I think they'd be pretty happy. Now, if we went to the round of 8 and lost 6-0 to Spain, I don't think people would be real happy about that. But if we got to the round of 8 and rumbled with Spain, I think that would be interesting. One of the things that's when you watch our team through 2 matches is our ball control has really been exceptional.
Right.
I mean, we haven't had to play a lot of defense.
Yes.
Because we've had ball possession so much of the matches.
The pitch has been tilted.
Yes. And really, what was our concern going into this World Cup? It was defense.
Yep.
And goaltending. Okay. Which is unusual for an American team to be a little concerned about goaltending.
Right.
Now, Chris Richards is playing, which makes a massive difference on our back line. But still, there's some speed concerns there on that back line.
Yep.
And so when we play someone who can possess the ball against us and really pressure us, that's going to be a test.
Yeah.
That's going to be a test.
Yes. And I think we've seen at times there's been some mistakes on the back line. You haven't had to pay for it quite yet, but Paraguay did score once. Australia had some chances back on Friday, weren't able to convert any of them. The U.S. look good. I mean, you're outscoring your opponent 6-1. You've clinched the group already.
We look great.
Yes, this is the best that I've seen the U.S. look in my lifetime.
Yes.
I believe it's the first time ever they've won their first 2 group stage matches, which is crazy.
But won them 6-1.
Right.
I mean,
right.
We do have 2 own goals.
Yes.
But we got them from pressure, though.
Right. It wasn't. Neither of them were horrible mistakes from the other team. It was just kind of a deflection that went awry, but it's looked good overall. You've seen Flo Balogun scored twice against Paraguay.
That's what he's on the team to do.
Alex Freeman got the goal against Australia to make it 2-0.
Young star. Didn't he just go to play overseas?
I believe so.
Yeah, he got bought out, right? Because he was in Orlando. He was with Orlando, I believe, but I think he just got bought out.
Villarreal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that Spanish?
La Liga? Yeah.
La Liga. Okay.
Yep. So he's looked really good. I think Weston McKennie looked good on Friday, especially with the absence of Christian Pulisic. And it is nice now that you've won the group. Tomorrow night's game doesn't matter for you. It doesn't matter for Turkey. So you can make sure you're in the best position possible for the knockout stage.
So do you rest your guys for the knockout stage, or do you want to keep pressing, keep moving forward, keep that positive energy moving, and not want to take a loss just because you're resting your guys?
That was my question too. So I think you rest all the guys who have yellows, right? The last thing you want is anybody to pick up a second yellow and then you're without them for the round of 32.
Yeah.
But my question with Pulisic is, do you want him to be 3 weeks removed
Yeah.
from his last match before you start playing the games that matter? I wouldn't hate if you either started him and then subbed him out at halftime, or even brought him on late and just had him get out there for 20 or 30 minutes. I don't know. That's going to be up to Mauricio Pochettino.
I think it depends on what his injury is.
I think it's calf.
But we don't know what the calf issue is.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I mean,
yeah.
Is it a calf pull? Is it a calf contusion? Is it?
That's a good point. Yeah.
We don't know. And if it's one where, hey, it can get worse, then you probably sit him.
Yeah, no, that is a good point. And I think based on what we heard, he was probably close enough that they could have played him if they needed to against Australia.
And that's my point about the third game, is if they thought they could win the second game without him and still win,
right, then
group,
you're probably not going to play him against Turkey.
Not in what is a meaningless game. I'm with you. It's a long time off, and we are clearly a different team with them on the pitch. But if, having just said that, you need him for the round of 32 if that's the case, because the competition really steps up now. And also, Turkey has had a horrific World Cup. I don't think they scored a goal.
They have not.
Yeah.
They have not. They are it's 2-0 against Australia, and then they lost 1-0 to Paraguay, despite Paraguay being a man down for like the last 20 minutes of that game.
Yeah. Somebody's getting fired there.
Yeah, and they're a talented team. I think heading into the World Cup, everybody said Turkey's our biggest threat to win that group.
Yeah, they were the biggest. They were the big concern going in to the group.
And now they're eliminated heading into round 3, or game 3 of the group stage.
So what do they have to offer? I mean, they're already eliminated. They haven't scored a goal in 2 games.
I guess it's just if you want to beat the Americans.
I mean, there's probably a whole lot of finger pointing going on. Probably a lot of time out at the club.
Yeah.
Now that they got nothing to play for.
Yeah, they're out in LA right now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Enjoy yourself.
They're all looking for Britney Spears.
Yeah, I don't really know what tomorrow's going to look like. I don't know what kind of lineup Mauricio Pochettino is going to put out there. I don't really care, right? Like you've taken care of your business.
That's such positive energy though.
Right. I understand that too. It's like you've got such a great vibe going on right now.
I would just be like, Mauricio, go win. Just go win.
Yeah, but it's just risk reward. That's you have nothing to gain by winning this game other than
do you think
the emotional aspect.
So do you think Messi plays in the last game for Argentina? They've
already clinched their group. I would say no.
Yeah. I mean he's got, I guess the fact that he's already got the record makes it even easier to sit him.
Right. The interesting one coming up on Friday is France and Norway. We were talking about that with Mbappe and Holland, but both those teams have already clinched first and second in their group because they've won both of their matches so far. How much incentive is there to play your guys, and what's probably going to be one of the more hard-fought matches of the group stage if you are going after
That's a war
to try and win that group?
I tell you, those Norway fans are awesome.
Erling Haaland is maybe my favorite player to watch so far in the World Cup.
So big.
Outside of maybe Messi, but like Messi is what you would expect from one of these.
Haaland and Mbappe are both such long, elite athletes.
Yeah,
and Messi is completely different.
Yes, Messi's just like
Ronaldo's also like those guys too. I mean, these are really big players.
Yes, Haaland, it's just like the long strider, and the 2 finishes that he had on Monday night against Senegal were awesome.
The speed and the body control that he plays with, and Ronaldo's the same way, except, maybe the greatest player ever.
Right.
But just, the size, the speed, the body control, the ability to manipulate the ball. I mean, you saw that with Haaland. He just stuck a foot out, boop, goal.
Right.
I mean, these guys are really amazing. And then you've got Messi, who just plays like the ball's on a string.
Yep.
He just
all-time World Cup leader in goals now, although Mbappe is close on his tail too.
Yeah, I tell you, Mbappe has played a ton of World Cup games.
Yes. They won it in 2018 and then went and lost to Argentina in the final in 22.
I don't know which one of them has actually played more World Cup games.
Messi has, but I don't think it's by a ton considering Messi's played in 6 and Mbappe only in 3.
He's 40, right?
Somewhere on there.
He is not slowing down.
No, he is not.
Like, I'm wondering if Messi will be back in 4 years.
Yeah. I mean, Messi had 5 goals in the first 2 games, and he missed a penalty. He could have had hat tricks in both of the first 2.
The way he's playing now, and I know 4 years is a long time, especially at 40, but I'm like,
Not out of the question.
He's really good. Somebody said to me, he goes, "This Argentina's whole game plan is get the ball to Messi." I go,
Yep.
I'm like, what's your point?
Yeah, it's like
what's your point, man?
It's like kicking and screaming. It's like,
Get
what's
it to
our
the
game plan?
Italians.
Get it to the Italians.
No, but I mean, like, what's your point? He's the greatest goal scorer in World Cup history.
Right.
Get him the damn ball.
I would pass it to him too.
I mean, Inter Miami has built a whole team based on that one philosophy.
And it's worked. It's worked. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. We got one more hour with you on this Wednesday. Lots to get to. We'll start with the Preds. Big week coming up for Chris McFarland. The NHL draft on Friday. The Preds picking 10th. Already have made some moves, but NHL free agency opens up a week from today, and there has been a flurry of moves around the league over the past few days. We'll also get Cory's thoughts on Pekka Rinne being inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. All of that coming up in our final hour. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up, 102.5 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Final hour on your Wednesday morning. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis from News 2, Parker Kelly with you, broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. Going to talk some Preds here in the final hour. Big week coming up. Draft on Friday. Free agency opens a week from today. But before we get into that, we were just talking with Chase during the break about this as well. Pekka Rinne going to be inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. Well-deserved honor. And I thought it was cool to see the way the city has rallied around in the last few days since this was announced.
Well, I mean, Jake, I've been here a long time.
Yep.
I've been rallying around Pekka Rinne for a very, very long time. One of the most beloved athletes, not just Predators, athletes in this town's history.
Yep.
You say Pekka Rinne, and if you've been a Nashvilleian for any amount of time, everybody knows who you're talking about.
Yep.
Wonderful person, number one. Wonderful athlete, wonderful teammate. You could not have a better player in your organization. And when we talk about like the NFL Hall of Fame, what do we always say? Can you tell the story of the league without him?
Yeah.
Well, you cannot tell the story of the Nashville Predators without Pekka Rinne.
100%.
I mean, I know Shea Weber's already in the Hockey Hall of Fame. But that's just because he retired first. Pex has been retired for a minute, and it is tougher to get elected when you play for teams like Nashville. We've seen that with Titans players as well.
Yep.
So really excited for him to be appreciated on such a national, international scope. For a guy who is so important here that they put a statue of him
right
outside of the stadium. I was talking with Robbie and Rexford about that Monday, and it was funny because we were talking about statues and who they should be.
Who deserves statues?
Well, he's in the Hall of Fame now. And by the way, this isn't his first Hall of Fame. He's in all of them now. He's all out. He's in like the Finnish Hall of Fame. He's in the Tennessee Hall of Fame.
Right. This is the big one, but yes, he's got all of them.
Fame. And now he's in the hockey. He's out of awards. He's out of awards. He can't win anymore. This is it. Unless like the president wants to give him the Medal of Freedom or something.
Yeah.
I mean, he's out of awards. And so this is a fitting tip of the cap for Pekka, who was really the only reason, or not the only reason, but the major reason the Preds were a playoff team for a lot of years. I mean, that's why the expectations are so high for UC Saros. So high, because we saw Pekka steal games.
Yeah.
Like just flat out, hey, Preds had no business winning this one, but Rinne made 54 saves. 7 of them were insane, and they won the game 2-1.
Yep.
And that's why the bar in net, and we had other good goalkeepers here in the past too. We've had guys play really, really well.
Yeah.
But he is the tops. And I think it's also good for Nashville, because like I said, we struggle to get people seen on a national scale.
Right.
And so good as well. Appropriate. You can't tell the story of this league and this team, without the Vezina Trophy winner and the Big Fin.
We talked about it yesterday. I want to get your thoughts. Best or maybe greatest is a better word, pro athlete in Nashville sports history. Is it Pekka?
That's hard.
I think there's
it's hard because sport to sport is apples to oranges.
Right. It's hard to compare. We talked about it yesterday though. Pekka and Steve are very similar in like their accolades. They both got their team to a championship round, the Super Bowl, the Stanley Cup final, but couldn't actually win the championship. Steve McNair has the co-MVP. Pekka had the Vezina. Like it's very similar. Pekka does have the longevity advantage over Steve McNair though.
Yes. And Steve's got the MVP.
Which, yes, the Vezina is not the MVP, but
I'm going to bring up Derrick Henry, who arguably for 5-6 years, best running back in all of football.
Right.
And, how many other players do the Titans have, the Preds have, where you say best in the league?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, look, I talked with Robbie Monday about Roman Josi.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Shea's in the Hall of Fame, but Roman Josi is the best skater in Predators history.
Yeah.
I mean, outstanding player, Norris Trophy winner, Norris Trophy finalist more than 2 times, I believe. 100-point season. I mean, Roman Josi is a superstar.
Yeah.
And so he's the best skater in team history. And so, you would say who's better. I still think you point to Pekka and say he won you more games.
Right.
He flat out won you games. I think, look, if there's a Preds Mount Rushmore, those are the first two guys on it.
Yeah, Shea would be it would be Pekka, Roman, Shea,
Phillip,
and then Forsberg probably. I think, if you're looking just players, I think that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
For the Titans, it would be
it's a bigger debate.
It's Steve, Eddie, Derek, and then I think there's a handful of choices for your fourth one.
Yeah, there's a bunch. You could, I could say Kevin Byard. I could say Delaney Walker.
Yep.
I could say,
they've
Jeffrey Simmons.
Connor and Nick said Frank Wycheck, which I think in the conversation, I think there might be better options though.
Look, Frank was a great player, and this is a passionate argument among people. Because I remember it was on Twitter, and I can't remember if I started this conversation or not, but there was the big debate about Delaney and Frank.
Yeah.
And I think if you're an OG Titans fan, there's nothing that gets you off of Frank Wycheck.
Right.
I watched Frank Wycheck, and he was a great player. He was not Delaney Walker.
Yeah. Delaney's stats are certainly better than
he was not as athletic.
Wycheck.
He was not as big of a playmaker. He was the best receiver on the team.
Yeah.
And the stats do not compare.
He was the bright spot on a lot of really horrible Titans.
Yeah, the stats do not compare. Gerald Casey was a great player.
Yep. Keith Bullock.
Michael Roos was a great player.
Javon Curse.
Yeah.
Bruce Matthews.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys who have a short duration.
Right.
And so I think duration matters some because Chris Johnson.
Chris Johnson's peak.
Yeah.
You could put up there with anybody.
Albert Hainsworth had 2 years.
That
were
sure.
Just two of the most devastating years I've ever seen. So that's a long way of saying the Titans Mount Rushmore is a lot tougher to put together than the Preds Mount Rushmore. And then you're saying, okay, which guy is the best? Steve was great.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. And there's the sentimentality of it too.
Right.
He took both teams lost in their championship.
Yes.
Both teams lost in their championship. The Titans more heartbreaking. Pekka didn't have a great series.
Right.
Against a really good Pittsburgh team. But that's I guess that's an impossible question for me to answer.
I think it's Steve and Pekka, I think, is the debate there. And it's just like,
I throw Derek into it.
I think Derek would be the next one, but it's so hard to compare because in a sports city, there is no more important figure than your football team's quarterback.
Yeah.
Right. So Steve was that guy and got the team to a Super Bowl in their first year in that stadium and was the MVP.
But you don't have to convince me, man.
But Pekka was here for 15 years and turned this into a huge hockey city.
He's got a statue.
Right. So
he's in every Hall of Fame. Steve's not in the Hall of Fame.
Right. So we talked about this yesterday and we really never came to a good answer.
Yeah.
But
it's tough because it's apples and oranges.
Right.
I'm sure there's some Nashville SC fans who are going to bring up Hani Mukhtar.
Nick Frazier did that yesterday.
Well, and the argument I would make, Hani Mukhtar is spectacular. Sam Surridge is spectacular. Christian Espinoza is spectacular. They're still not playing in the most elite sport,
right?
Elite sports league for their sport, and the NHL and the NFL are
right,
and that's the great differentiator. I hate to put it this simply. It would be like including a player from the Sounds.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because this is the simplest way for me to put it. Nashville SC has the best team in the MLS this year, correct?
Yes.
How many players do they have in the World Cup?
One.
And he plays for Iraq.
Yes.
Doesn't play for England.
Right.
Doesn't even play for the U.S.
Right. Like Hani Mukhtar, great player.
Yeah.
MVP of the MLS.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago.
Yep. Golden Boot winner.
Not playing in the World Cup.
Sam Surridge.
Yeah.
Just a ton of goals.
Right.
I almost said a bad word. Just a ton of goals the last 2 years. And a dominant goal scorer. Can't sniff the World Cup.
Yep.
Now, they've got some players who are going to get mentioned in the future, but to have one player and he's on a team that's in the World Cup for the first time in 40 years.
Yeah.
Just shows you the discrepancy in the leagues.
Right. There's levels to it.
Yeah. Like Alex Friedman, we just said.
Yeah.
He left.
Right. Yeah. He was in the MLS. Now he's playing La Liga. And it's like, there are so many different levels to soccer that there aren't in football and hockey.
And again, that doesn't mean that Hani is not a spectacular player. I love watching him play.
Yeah.
He's insanely talented.
Right.
Insanely talented. But when you make this conversation, you have to wait it.
Right.
You do.
Right. 615-737-1025 is the phone number if you want to join the conversation. Our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We'll stick with the Preds here, talk about some of the big decisions coming Chris McFarland's way. And later in the show, we'll hit on tight end U being in town. Gunnar Helm out there with Travis Kelce, George Kittle, and many more. 615-737-1025. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly. Next man up. 125 the game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly with you. Talking some Preds here in the final hour of the show. The NHL draft on Friday. NHL free agency opens next Wednesday, and we will get to see Chris McFarland in action in his first offseason as the Predators' president of hockey operations and general manager. The NHL offseason's already been kind of crazy, Corey. I don't know if you've been keeping up with all the trades. I think I saw 3 more go down yesterday, including Bowen Byram being traded from the Sabres to the Blackhawks in a trade that included the 4th overall pick. I mean, high prices being paid in these trades. We saw it with Brady Tkachuk
Not
last week.
many people are willing to trade top 5 picks in the NHL draft.
Does that tell you maybe that this is a weak draft? Like, I don't know. Chicago.
It tells me a couple things, and this is my guess.
Yeah.
Number one, if there was Sidney Crosby in that top 5 waiting for that number 4 or that type of player,
yeah.
They're not trading the pick. So they're not sold that the number 4 guy is an absolute franchise changer. The other thing it tells me is the free agency class is weak, and you've got to trade to get players. And we're seeing that. We're seeing trades because there's not enough out there in free agency for teams to improve themselves. The Blackhawks have sucked hard. I mean, they're horrible. And look, Chicago's a great hockey town. And I don't know if people know this enough because it's been a minute since they won those 3 cups. The town loves that team, supports that team. They're only going to support it so long while they're this horrible. Everybody's shelf life runs out at some point. I mean, we see that at Nissan Stadium. There's a lot of empties. Despite 6 straight winning seasons and 4 trips to the playoffs, you win 6 games in 2 years, you got a lot of empties.
Yep.
All right. I think Chicago realized, hey, we got our guy, number 1. We really need some instant improvement.
Yes.
We can't wait 3 years for the number 4 pick, especially if we don't think he's a superstar. We got to get better now.
And I agree with that sentiment of trying to use the 4th overall pick to improve your roster now. But Byram, if wasn't even a top line defense or top pair defenseman for the Sabres. He's up for a new extension. I've seen a lot of Blackhawks fans saying we need a winger to put next to Bedard. Like, could you not have used that 4th overall pick in a package to go do that instead of bringing in Byram?
Probably not. Probably. I mean, because if there was a better deal to be had, they probably would have done it. But I mean, look, they need everything.
Right.
They need everything.
Yeah.
They stink. They're terrible. They're unwatchable. They're not good.
Yeah.
I mean, how else can I say it?
No, it's true. They've been even, and that's the counter argument that people will make when, fans say the Preds need to tank is look what the Blackhawks did. They got the superstar, Connor Bedard, who was supposed to be the best prospect since McDavid.
Yeah.
And they're still horrible.
Yeah.
So it's like, I understand that part of it too. The Kyle Davidson, their GM, is just getting dragged all over social media for this trade.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, it happens. GMs, we've seen it.
Yeah.
We've seen it. What, 2nd and a 4th for Julio?
Yeah.
That one wasn't good.
That did not work out.
That was not good. But, when you're a GM and you're in the heat of the moment, sometimes you pull the trigger and you wish you hadn't pulled that trigger. But look, I can't believe Chicago trades the 4th pick of the draft without a plan in place.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a major decision. That's not trading away a 2nd round pick.
Right.
Give John Robinson some slack there, although a 2nd round pick is a big deal.
Yeah. It's the 4th overall pick.
And top 5 picks are like gold in the NHL.
Yep.
And so I can understand why fans are like, it's the number 4 pick. You've really got to score. You really got to score with that pick.
And we've also seen the 9th overall pick change hands twice in the last week.
Wow.
It was with Florida. They traded it to Ottawa in the Brady Tkachuk trade. And then yesterday it was traded to San Jose. So, so there's been
look, if San Jose isn't unbeatable in 5 years, they messed up.
Well, they have the 2nd overall pick this year.
That's what I'm saying.
So yeah, they've got 2 and 9. A lot of people are pointing at the Sharks as a spot that they could trade that 2nd pick. And McKenna's going to go first. That seems to be a foregone conclusion.
Trade the 2nd one for?
I don't know. Maybe
who's out there?
Yeah, Austin Matthews.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the big name that's out there.
Yeah. That'd be worth it.
Dylan Larkin is out there. I don't know if you'd trade this. It would have to be a package around that.
Do you think anybody, and Robbie asked me this, so I'm not going to take credit for it.
Yeah.
Does somebody sniff around for Roman Yossi?
Maybe. And I've said it before, maybe even to you, that I think Ryan O'Reilly is going to be your litmus test of what Chris McFarland wants to do.
Yeah.
Because clearly the trade prices are high right now with what we saw the Senators getting for Tkachuk, what the Sabres just got for Byram. So Ryan O'Reilly, he's not going to fetch you a king's ransom at 37 years old or whatever he is.
Such a good player.
But he's a good player. He has been a good player on a championship team, albeit 8 years ago.
He won the Conn Smythe, right?
Yes, he won the Conn Smythe with the Blues.
Yeah.
I think you could get a pretty good haul for Ryan O'Reilly this offseason. I think what Chris McFarland decides to do with the factor is going to tell you a lot about his direction.
I think something else, though, that tells us about their direction is the trade they just made. What was that young man?
Ross Colton.
What did they trade away?
2 thirds.
third-round
Yeah,
picks.
no, that's true.
That's telling me we have a lot of picks and we have a lot of players in our system.
Yep.
We don't necessarily have room for all of these picks. We need to use some of these picks to get better now.
Yep.
And they got better now with that trade.
Yeah, Colton's a good player.
And so that makes me say, I don't know if they'll want to trade for picks because they're not going to get a player.
Right.
Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah, you might get.
You're not going to get Ryan O'Reilly.
No, you're not getting Ryan O'Reilly.
You get a role guy.
I think
but you could sign role guys.
I don't know if you'd get a role guy. I think they'd be looking for a prospect who's close to NHL ready instead of, hey, 2 first-round picks. It'd be like, all right, who's your best prospect that
Who's
can
the
help
guy
us soon?
Who scored 8 goals for you last year and played 42 games or something?
Right. So
I'd still rather have Ryan O'Reilly at 37.
Yeah, I agree with you though. I don't know if they make all of the picks that they have this weekend in Buffalo.
Yeah.
They've got a first, 2 seconds, a third, 2 fourths, and 2 fifths, I want to say.
Yeah.
Now, the later you get, you're not going to get much for any of those, but I do think it's a good strategy for them when you have as many picks as they do. I want to say they have a first, 2 seconds, and 3 thirds next year, or maybe 2 thirds.
Yeah.
No, they have 3 seconds now because the Vegas one moved up because they reached the conference finals. So they've got so many picks over the next couple of years. I would rather them package those to go get someone in a more NHL ready age rather than prospects.
They don't have room for all those players.
Right.
I mean, you only got so many spots in Milwaukee.
That's true.
And I don't know who their ECHL affiliate is.
Yeah.
Is it Cincinnati?
I don't know, actually.
But,
Atlanta?
I mean, that's just down the pike. I mean, that's guys who weren't good enough to play in Milwaukee at this point.
Right.
And guys have made it from there. I mean, who's the guy who they ended up trading to Tampa who came out of nowhere?
Oh, I'm blanking.
Yeah.
2 years ago?
3 years ago, I think.
At the deadline.
No, he had a monster year and then they traded him to Tampa.
Ryan McDonough.
No. The forward. The young forward.
Oh, I'm blanking.
Yeah.
It is the Atlanta Gladiators is their ECHL team.
Yeah, he came up from ECHL all the way to NHL.
Gotcha.
So it happens. But again, I'm with you. You got so many picks. You need to turn some of those picks into players. Right. Now, if you need to pair picks with player to get better player, I'm down with that.
Like, I don't know who it would be that's out there, but if you could send Ryan O'Reilly somewhere and a pick.
If you wanted to give number 10, Luke Evangelista, and a 2 for Austin Matthews, I'd say do it.
The name that has been brought up a lot around here, and thank you to Gover on the text line for texting this in, package a draft pick haul for Jason Robertson. And he's a restricted free agent. You have to sign him to a new deal. But if you could trade a few picks for the rights to him, like that is a player in the age bucket that Chris McFarland was talking about that is going to be able to help you now, but can also match with
grow with your team.
Right. It can match with the future core of Martin and Surin and Molendijk that you have coming through the pipeline. Yeah. Tanner Jeannot was the name. I knew exactly who it was. Yeah. I couldn't think of it.
Yeah. Tanner Jeannot. That guy came out of nowhere. He was mired in like the ECHL.
Yes. And they got a haul for him.
Oh, that was a David Poile
Was that
special.
2 first that they got from Tampa?
Yeah. And I think they got more than that.
Yeah.
It was a ridiculous trade.
Yes. That was Poile's last deadline and he made it count.
That was a great trade. I mean, Tanner's still playing.
Yeah, no, and he's not a bad player, but not worth what they gave up to get him.
He flashed for them in a huge way.
Yeah, right.
When you saw him and Yakov Trenin together, you thought, hey, this could be something.
Yeah.
And I think what we found out is, I think as skaters, they're both a little limited.
Yes.
I like both. I do. But I like the trade better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, last year they used one of those picks on, was it Riker Lee or
sure.
I'm blanking on the guy that going into Michigan State.
The goalie?
No, they use a defenseman.
Okay. All right. Oh, that's right. Riker was the forward, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And maybe Riker's going to Michigan State too. I'm blanking on his name. Cameron Reed. Cameron Reed, the defenseman. So yeah, they got Brady Martin, Cameron Reed, and Riker Lee last year.
That needs to be a franchise altering draft.
Yeah. If those three guys can become everyday players for you,
two of them.
Right. And you've got Surin the year before. Teddy Stiga's looked decent when he's had an opportunity.
Let's be real. Brady Martin needs to be a pillar of the team.
Right.
He needs to be one of the foundational pieces.
No, you look at these last 3 drafts, and you've got 6 first-round picks in the last 3 drafts, and you can add whoever the 10th pick is on Friday to this too. That needs to be your future core. Not all of them are going to be hits. That's not how it works. But
I think Wood can be.
Right.
And Molendijk.
Wood, Molendijk, Surin, Martin, Reed, Lee.
Yeah.
Like that's got to be part of the solution
in like the next 2 years.
Yes.
I mean, it's got to come forward.
I think. Well, Surin's overseas. 3 of those guys should be on the opening day roster.
Yeah.
Wood, obviously. Martin, Molendijk.
Molendijk needs to be.
Those guys should be on the opening day roster. And then I think you're probably still a year away for the other 3.
Yeah.
But that's got to be the core.
Surin, the Russian guy?
Who's in the KHL.
No, he's coming over.
Not this year.
Oh, I thought he was coming over.
No, that's Pinchuk that they signed.
Yeah.
So
he's legit.
Yeah, no, they signed him this offseason.
He's a big centerman.
So that adds to their center depth this year. Yeah. But Surin is the pick they made 2 years ago.
If I'm Fedor Svechkov, I'm hiring a real estate agent.
Yeah. Might not
I think his time is, I mean, he's had like 3 chances to impress.
Right. He's getting into that group of guys that you get excited about, and it goes away quickly. Tommy Novak was an example of that. Juuso Parssinen, Yakov Trenin that you mentioned, like those guys that they show flashes early, but there's just not enough consistency.
And that's the tough part about making these trades, because how many of these guys have we been excited about when they get here?
They just don't pan out,
and they get to this level. And what do we call those 4A players?
In baseball. Yeah.
That's what they are.
Right.
They're really good minor league players. They're marginal. That's why you had so much steroid use in baseball, because there were a lot of 4A players who became all-stars.
Right. Yeah. Can't hit the ball very well, but we'll hit it further if we juice it a little bit.
Yep.
615-737-1025 is the phone number. We will take your thoughts on our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We got a couple more segments left on this Wednesday. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly, next man up. 102.5 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly.
Look at Cory head bobbing in there.
Yeah, true Swiftie, Cory Curtis in studio.
Look, I always say this. I moved here in 2003. I remember, because I live right down the street from Ravenwood High School.
Yeah.
I remember a benefit concert at Ravenwood High School by a very young Taylor Swift.
Wow. Yeah. And she back in Nashville this weekend for Tight End U.
She wasn't quite the star then that she is now.
Yeah.
But she was a rising youngster that people were talking about.
That's what I saw the video. Lainey Wilson pulled her up on stage for the Tight Ends and Friends concert that they do every year.
Yeah.
And she said that she was one of 30 people at the Riverfront stage at CMA Fest when Taylor Swift was there performing as a 16-year-old.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures.
Crazy.
She just had like a little stage and her guitar.
Yes.
And there she was.
But she is here with her fiance, Travis Kelce. You got to be getting married soon, right? I thought it was.
Yeah, there was some rumors.
July 4th weekend.
Okay, so yeah, next
Don't
weekend.
ask me how I know that.
Where are they doing it?
Madison Square Garden, right?
I think so.
Isn't that what I saw TMZ
Imagine
reported
having
that.
your wedding at Madison Square Garden on July 4th weekend. Can you imagine that?
No.
Yeah.
No, look, I got married in front of like 80 people, and that was a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
I can't imagine this.
My wife doesn't seem to believe it. I showed her like the New York Post and TMZ reports that it's at MSG, and she's like, no, Taylor's too classy for that. She wouldn't do it. And I'm like, I don't know.
Are you sure?
I think she's going to do it.
I'll tell you what, Travis Kelce is a chameleon.
Yeah.
He becomes whatever his girlfriend is.
I hated Travis Kelce for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, and honestly, I still don't like him. I agree with you. I think it's all an act the way he acts now with Taylor Swift or maybe he's just changed his personality.
I think that's it. You know, people handle relationships in different ways. You know, there's, you know, what you talk about being dependent.
Yeah.
And I think Travis, like the way he handles relationships is just to become the person that his significant other wants him to be.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he was kind of a hip hop guy for a while, and now he looks like a suburban dad.
Yes.
I mean, he's completely changed his image around Taylor. And Travis Kelce's a Hall of Fame player. Seems like a good guy. I'm not picking on him. I'm just saying the individuality is not there.
Right. There's a great Instagram, Twitter, TikTok guy who does a Travis Kelce voice of like what he used to sound like. Yes. And it's like, it's so funny. And now hearing him now where he
was very hip hoppy.
Right. And now he's Taylor Swift ish.
Yeah.
I don't
loafers and brown socks and shorts mowing the lawn.
I didn't like him. I mean, I look back to the 2022 Titans Chiefs game where he chucked his helmet on the field and didn't get flagged.
David what's the name of the linebacker? David Long.
Oh no, not that day.
Oh, okay.
That day was funny when he's like complaining to the ref and David Long's behind him, mocking him.
The Titans have given the Chiefs a hard time for a long time.
They have, but I'm thinking of the Sunday night football game
in
Arrowhead where Malik Willis started
went like 5 for 20.
And the Titans should have won that game, but
Rashad Weaver blew it.
Travis Kelce took his helmet off after an interception or something and chucked it on the field and didn't get flagged for it.
Yeah.
And then on the 2-point conversion they had to tie it, he grabbed I think it was Dane Cruikshank.
Yeah.
Grabbed his face mask.
The secret weapon.
And it was incomplete. And they called pass interference on the Titans. They got another chance and they won it.
Yeah.
So I didn't like him from that. I still look back. You never root for anybody to get injured, but Jonathan Cyprien knocking his head off in that 2018 playoff game was a huge reason the Titans came back and won.
Won the game.
Yep.
I mean, really did. Really won. I mean, and it was right before halftime. He came in and he concussed him. And that Chiefs offense just completely shut down.
Well, and Travis Kelce also fumbled on that play. I don't know if anybody else remembers it, and they didn't review it. I don't know why.
That's what happens when you get knocked out.
Well, yeah, right. Like, I think they didn't review it because they were like, if we review this, it's going to be like
by the way,
super dirty hit.
Today, Jonathan Cyprien is ejected for that hit.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, easily.
But it did. I mean,
it changed the game.
It and Mariota having the greatest play in fantasy football history.
Yes.
Helped win the game.
Off Darrelle Revis's hands.
A pass to himself for a touchdown. You got a point for the reception. You got a point for the completion.
Yep.
He got 6 points for the touchdown
And
reception.
Like 3 yards.
6 points for the touchdown catch.
Yep. The worst play in fantasy football history was Jalen Hurts this past year. I don't know if you saw that.
We fumbled like 3 times.
No, he threw a pick. Then somebody hit the guy who picked it up. Jalen Hurts picked it back up and fumbled again.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah, it was a -4.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that was my instant reaction too. I'm like, that's the worst play in fantasy history.
Speaking of tight ends quickly, Travis Kelce, George Kittle, they're on the back end of their career. I think we're seeing a changing of the guard.
Definitely a back end.
Who are your top 3 tight ends heading into this year off the top of your dome?
Well, Trey McBride.
Yep, I would put him up there.
I think Dalton Kincaid is still someone to watch for.
Yeah.
He had a nice bounce back year after an injury riddled season. I'm going to forget some people.
Brock Bowers, I think, deserves to be up there.
Absolutely. Brock
and
Bowers.
now hopefully has a quarterback worth something throwing him the ball.
Yeah. Brock Bowers. I would need to go team by. Hey, how about Colston Loveland?
The
Bears?
I was about to say the 2 rookies from last year. I'm really excited to see Tyler Warren, Colston Loveland in year 2.
In on Tyler Warren.
Yep.
All in. He was the guy I wanted the Bears to draft. And when they drafted Colston Loveland first, I was like, what are they doing?
Yeah. Colston Loveland's going to be a dog.
Yeah. Well, and then so first half of the season, and they already had Cole Kmet, who's good.
Yeah.
And then at the halfway point, I mean, he became option 1 for them.
Yeah.
And not just and he's more than just a tight end who catches passes. He is a play maker.
Right.
And so it's going to be interesting to see how that position evolves over this season. Because you're right. Brock Bowers, I forgot about him because he's playing for the Raiders,
right.
who are awful. But that position is pretty strong these days.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about Kyle Pitts, who just
got an extension.
$18 million a year for 3 years. But if I had to pick 3, like if you said, okay, you've got a team and you've got 3 tight ends to build your team with for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Let me think about who
I think McBride and Bowers, I think, would be in there. And then
I'd probably take Loveland 3rd.
I think Loveland, Warren, trying to think, are there any other young tight ends up? He hasn't had the best years the last couple of years after a huge rookie year. Sam Laporta is a good player.
Really
I don't know
good.
if I'd put him in that top tier conversation.
TJ Hawkinson's still in Minnesota.
Yeah.
The Rams have 3 good ones, but none of them are on that
right. There's
level.
nobody who's elite. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that's the group.
Who's that guy with the Cowboys now?
Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good young player, but I think 4th for me would probably be Tyler Warren.
Yeah,
and then probably Dalton Kincaid.
And Kittle is still a good player, but he's not top 5 in the league anymore.
Well, and how many snaps does his body have? I mean,
right.
He plays such a physical brand,
right,
that I think he sets himself up for injury.
Yeah,
and Travis Kelce, arguably the greatest tight end of all time.
Yeah,
is clearly not that guy.
Yeah, he's lost a step.
Yes, he's clearly not that guy anymore.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. Last call for phones here. We got one more segment. We'll keep talking football. All of our football offseason coverage is brought to you by Tennessee Brewers, the official craft beer of the football offseason on ESPN 1025 The Game. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly. Next man up, 1025 The Game. Next man up, 102.5 The Game. Final segment on this Wednesday. Jake Lyman, Cory Curtis, Parker Kelly.
I was a
wrapping up the
macho
show.
man guy. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, you were?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, Corey's a promo machine every Wednesday.
He is.
You going to clip that one?
Probably. I already have like 5 from
Yeah,
you today.
we're gonna need Parker to make like a Rex rant intro for Cory
No.
of I hate everyone at this station.
Oh, yeah.
There's one where he was making fun of Tua, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, we'll have to search back.
It was like
through the
some
archives.
Hawaiian restaurant out in Franklin or something.
Oh, L&L Hawaiian Grill.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. He came out there when he was in Alabama looking for Mariota, but Mariota didn't own it. Eugene Amano did.
Oh,
But no, this is actually a really good story. So he's there, and he's like, "Is Marcus here?" And they're like, "No." And they said, "It's like, does he come here?" And like, sometimes. And so he came up from Tuscaloosa because L&L Hawaiian Grill is a big deal in Hawaii. And I was really upset when Eugene shut it down because it was one of my favorite places to eat.
yeah.
But so he tweeted out to Nashville area Alabama fans, "I'm here." And they all showed up for autographs. So he sat there and signed autographs all afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was looking for Marcus?
Yeah, I was looking for Marcus.
Does he not have Marcus's contact
They went to the
information?
same high
Right, They went to
school.
the same high school. Like,
I'm just going to tell you, those Hawaiian kids are a little different.
okay.
They just, Manti Te'o, it's just different, okay? It's just different. And so, no, he
That's
didn't.
so funny.
But he didn't tuck his tail between his legs and drive home.
Right,
He made the most of it.
I just love the idea of I'm going to drive from Tuscaloosa to Franklin just in case Marcus is
For
at
Hawaiian barbecue.
Right, is that
Yeah.
his Hawaiian barbecue?
Well, it's what, like a 3-hour drive?
Yeah. I tell you what, Spam Musubi is worth it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I've ever had Hawaiian barbecue.
Not a big Spam guy.
You've never had Spam Musubi.
I have had Spam.
Spam Musubi.
Never had that.
It's basically like Spam sushi.
Yeah, Marcus went and did the like the Radio Row hits that one year.
Yeah. You like Spam?
Doing spam hits,
Yeah,
like
Spam is-
commercials.
Spam is huge in the Pacific, like Philippines, Japan,
Yeah.
Hawaii, all because of World War II.
Right.
That's why. I mean, it is ingrained in those places because it was an easy way to deliver meat in the military.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess that's true. In cans. Yeah.
It came in cans.
Yeah.
It's like compressed pork and other meats.
Right.
And it's good for a long time. So tons of Spam was airdropped all over the Pacific.
Right.
And so tons of island people who'd never seen canned meat in their life opened it up and like, this is delicious. And so now Spam is still ingrained in those societies, and rightfully so.
Are you guys, before we wrap up, are you guys pineapple on pizza?
No,
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not,
Pineapple
dude.
does not
Thank
belong
you.
on pizza.
Thank you, Parker.
am-
Thank
It
you.
does not belong on
If
pizza.
you want to eat it, that's fine. I don't care, but do not put it in front of me.
I'm loving that we, for once, all three of us are together on this. No, pineapple does not belong on pizza.
You know what? And I love bacon, but I don't want my bacon on my pizza.
Really?
Yeah,
You don't like a good meat
What's
lover's
your
pizza?
What's your go-to pizza order?
Sausage, pepperoni, mushroom.
Okay, I'm not a mushroom guy. I go pepperoni.
I could do classic cheese or pepperoni.
I'm pepperoni, bacon, black olives. That's my go-to.
Oh my gosh, here we go with the olives
Yeah,
again.
look, you need
It's the worst food known to man.
that spicy flavor, that spicy Italian flavor, and getting the mix between the pepperoni and the sausage.
I do like sausage on pizza.
I mean, and it's got to be real Italian sausage.
Hot honey on pizza?
Yes.
No, dude, go away.
Are you kidding me?
Not always, but there I do
Look,
like a good pepperoni hot
Look,
honey
if
pizza.
you want to have
That's
dessert,
glorious.
if you want dessert, we'll make dessert. All right. If you want a pizza, we'll have pizza.
What do you mean? Honey's not really considered dessert.
It's sugar, man. That's all
but
it
it's
is.
good.
It is good. I
It's-
love honey, but I'm not putting it on my pizza. By the way, did I tell you guys this? I made Chicago style pizza.
Oh, how'd it go?
Really?
Yeah, I've made it twice now.
Okay, wait. Do you know what true Chicago pizza is? Because it's not deep dish.
No, I know exactly what it is.
Like
Tavern style?
Tavern style,
Yeah.
yes.
No, not
Yeah.
not tavern style. No. I mean that is one type of Chicago pizza. There are two types, okay? And the other one, it's not even really deep dish. Okay? The people think it's deep dish because the crust comes up on the sides.
Yeah.
It is a thicker crust without
Okay.
doubt, but what makes the crust different, and I know this now because I've made it. When you make the dough, okay? And by the way, I made the dough from scratch. I let it rise for 6 hours.
Wow.
Okay,
right.
there we go.
You mix it very little. Okay. Like when you make when you make a tavern style, that dough gets mixed and rolled out, and it is perfect. When you make a Chicago style pizza crust, it's a lot more like a biscuit.
Okay.
It's a lot more like a biscuit. And
flaky.
It has a flaky, biscuity flavor. And if you nail it, you know it. And the first time I did it, I nailed it. And I loved it. And the second time I was rushed, and I didn't nail it. And the crust was just pizza crust, and it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. So, yes, there are 2 types of Chicago pizza, and neither one of them is deep dish.
Wow.
That's Detroit. And the Detroit-style pizza, look.
It's good.
Detroit-style pizza is really good.
It's great.
Jets pizza is fast food, my favorite pizza.
Yeah. Oh,
That cheesy edge crust is demonic.
Emmy squared. Good too.
It possesses my soul.
I was there 2 weekends ago.
All right, we will hand it off from one pizza chef to another. Nick Frazier and Big Joe Dubin are going to be coming up next. Tomorrow on the show, Connor Newt joins us at 9 a.m. Keep it right here. You're listening to 102.5 The Game.